and you've got a nice, easy victory. I don't think Shane Beamer's going, all right, fellas, you know what the spread is? We got to cover the number. No.
Well, especially in today's climate of college sports, I wouldn't incentivize anybody when it comes to gambling because as we've seen at Iowa, and Alabama, and a lot of other places, you wanted them as far away from that as possible.
It's funny. It's legalized. And now, but because it's legalized, because of what we've seen, right, it's almost even more of, don't say anything. Don't bring it up. Let's not have a conversation. That's the last thing you want. But, again, Old Dominion has covered the spread again in these games.
Yeah, so in the Ricky Rain era, they've routinely played Virginia Tech, Virginia. They played Wake Forest last year. In the 6 games they played against Power 5 opponents, they are 4-2 against the spread in those games, including an outright win against Virginia Tech. So it's not just, making it close. Like, they could make this very uncomfortable. They had the 2-touchdown lead, I believe, over Wake Forest last year. Like, this is a team that's not a stranger to holding their own. And you might look at that and say, well, Virginia Tech, Virginia, those are bottom of the barrel of the SEC teams. Carolina right now is towards the bottom of the SEC. So I think that is comparable. I
think when you were coming off a 5-7 season, that was a disappointment to everyone. You take no one lightly.
Sure.
You look at it like you can't. There's no way you look at even Akron, who we've talked about as one of the worst teams coming off of last year.
Right.
Was it Elijah brought this up when we were talking yesterday about the Shane Beamer presser when Elijah came back from Shane's press conference, and this is true that these powers look a lot of schools. The turnover on roster now is so crazy.
Oh yeah.
From year to year. Look, forget even Ohio State. Look what Ohio State did in the portal. The Buckeyes, who go recruit 5 stars everywhere, right?
Yep.
They have the best recruiting classes, or the top 5. Every year is a top 5 recruiting class in Columbus, right?
Right.
Look what they did in the portal. They even went portal hopping, and they brought in some turnover. So you just never really know. This is another motivator if you're Shane Beamer or any coach in the same position. You don't really know what Old Dominion is.
No.
You think you do. Okay, Grant Wilson, the quarterback's coming back. He's to use a football term. He's Their offensive line was a sieve. They brought in 3 new starters, but the 2 returning guys gave up 19 sacks combined.
Right.
They went through the transfer portal and the skill positions.
Yeah.
They went on the transfer portal on parts of their defense. I mean, yeah, Henderson comes back with his inflated tackle numbers or whatever.
Sure.
But if you look at both sides of the ball for Old Dominion, I mean, they've brought in a lot of different folks from the portal.
Yeah, a couple highlights here. They got 2 running backs from Power 4 schools. They brought in Devontae Vines, an Iowa transfer at wide receiver, added a lot of size in the offensive line compared to what they had a year ago. They got a JUCO All-American defensive back in Jay Manning. Like, they did hit the portal, and these aren't the sexiest names in the world, but compared to what they had last year, It is seemingly significant upgrades.
And the wide receiver Vines from Iowa is just saying this, please throw me the ball.
I was going to say,
please,
it's like, well, let's actually throw the ball around here, and I can show what I'm worth.
That's what he probably did when he was in the portal. He probably said, do you guys throw the ball?
When Deacon Hill was going 3 of 20 in every single game, and they were losing 17-3.
Awful. Just awful. So, I mean, that is the thing to be honest and fair. And, again, we had some fun with Shane yesterday about Old Dominion's season last year, but you really don't know what you don't know. And some of these guys you bring through the portal, like we automatically think, okay, Old Dominion, what are they going to get, Division II guys?
Yeah.
No, they're going to go get guys from Power 4 leagues who aren't getting their opportunities. And they want to get their opportunities. Or maybe a former highly recruited guy, but he's not getting his opportunity. I'll give you an example. This didn't work out.
Sure.
Malachi Nelson leaving Southern Cal to go to Boise State.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't win the gig at Boise State, which is another conversation for another day. But you see guys from Power 4 leagues who go, I'm not getting an opportunity, and maybe I'll get even more run if I go to a Group of 5 school like an Old Dominion. So it's not just lower-level guys taking a step up to Old Dominion.
And Beamer mentioned it there, and we're all very aware of the amount of talent that comes out of that area of Virginia, that DMV area, obviously. Beamer's well aware of it because he grew up in it, with his dad coaching at Virginia Tech. there's a lot of guys that slip through the cracks there. They're not your 4 and 5 star talents, but maybe they went to a smaller school. Maybe they're a little bit underrated, and those are the kind of schools they end up at. So, yes, there is the potential for a lot of under-the-radar guys to be on that team that could provide a problem on Saturday.
The Norfolk, Tidewater, Newport News, Virginia Beach area. And if you follow college sports, you know Michael Vick, Ronald Curry, some dude named Allen Iverson, Bruce Smith. I mean, and that's just off the top of my head. There's many, many more that came through that area. I mean, that's where Virginia Tech made their bones under Frank Beamer, is recruiting that area. Virginia Tech owned that area when Shane's dad was on the top there in Blacksburg. So yeah, to your point, also you get late bloomers out of that area. You also get maybe, okay, your size doesn't get you to go play at Virginia Tech or Virginia or Florida State or whoever, but everything else checks the box, right?
Right.
So to the point of saying, look, you can't take Old Dominion lightly. There's many reasons you can't.
Sure.
And I'll go back to the major one. You went 5-7 last year.
Yeah.
You should take no one lightly because you are so bleeping angry over what happened to you last year. You could be playing a flag football team from a fraternity and you want to pound them.
Of course.
Because you went 5-7 last year. You don't have that luxury of saying, "Oh, can't take that. We can't take them lightly." No, you can't take anybody lightly because again, you had a losing record last year and missed a bowl game. You got to ramp up on everybody.
And again, we've talked about it. We've been tongue in cheek. We've made the jokes about Old Dominion and the Monarchs and all that kind of stuff because on paper, Carolina's more talented. And if you go out there and do your job, you should be able to win this game comfortably. But if you don't, they have the potential to make it a long Saturday afternoon in Williams-Brice Stadium if, again, you're not crossing your T's and dotting your I's.
Well, I mean, we'll go back and, Shane used the example of South Alabama and Oklahoma State.
Right.
Here's Oklahoma State, end up playing for the Big 12 championship, beat Oklahoma in the Bedlam game.
Yep.
Didn't just lose to South Alabama, got boat raced by South Alabama in Stillwater.
Yep.
So the world has changed, and I know we roll our eyes at it. We had some fun with Shane yesterday about Old Dominion maybe being a New Year's bowl team last year if they'd have won close games.
Maybe a little bit of a stretch.
Yeah, a bit.
Hey, if you just won all the games you lost, you'd be undefeated.
Exactly. And so it's just the idea that, but to go away from, the over the top.
Right.
You don't know what Old Dominion is going to be this year because of the transfer portal era we live in. B, you were 5-7 last year, and so you really can't take anyone for granted. And C, at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, you don't know about your team at this point.
Right.
Because you have a lot of question marks. Now, we'll get more into this through the week because, we have to predict and talk about all this stuff on Friday. But when you look at the South Carolina team and you look at all the actual grown men on it,
sure,
the 24-year-olds, the 23-year-olds, or whatever the case, and you look at the depth, I feel like this should be a team that gets their 6 wins and goes back to a bowl game.
Right.
I do. Plus, you have about 3 high-caliber freshmen, especially 2, right, in Stewart and Thompson. And I think Mazeo Bennett's going to, help out in some way, shape, or form at wide receiver. Not to be a starter or whatever, but I think he could give you production. So when you add in a few freshmen who you think can really help you, to go with the transfer portal, which has given you better players and more depth, to the guys that are also coming back with that really bad 5-7 taste in their mouth.
Yep.
I figure this team, we know 4 of them, right? We got 4 wins on the table.
You feel like
that you should get W's.
Yes.
Again, no guarantees.
Right. But if you tend to your business,
put it this way, you better win them.
Foot. Yeah. You lose those games by beating yourself.
Yes.
Essentially.
Absolutely. Ding, ding. Ding, ding, sir. I think they find the 2 somewhere to get their 6.
Yeah.
I do. I think it's a better team than last year. I mean, obviously, the biggest question mark is what your unproven young quarterback with a ton of ability, what's he going to do? And is your offensive line going to be solid? Those are huge. Those are legit huge question marks.
Right.
But I think overall you've got a deeper, more talented squad than you had last year.
Yes, and we'll start to get answers to some of those questions on Saturday.
Yes,
and
we will.
Hopefully build the build the experience and excitement for week number 2, because Kentucky's not going to be easy.
No, and that's an even bigger. Here's the what's that? The signpost.
Yep.
Of the 12 signpost on the road, signpost number 2 is going to tell you something about where everything's at early in the year.
Right.
Absolutely. I will get back in here. Shane Beamer, if you missed any of the stuff from Shane in yesterday's presser that we had here on the game, we're going to pick at a few things that Shane was talking about. Let's go to Rocket Sanders. Is Rocket Sanders on a pitch count or not? Shane will answer that question if you missed it next. It is a halftime show. Terry Ford, Tyler Head. Glad you could be hanging out. We're going to get, by the way, Tickapalooza.
I have a lot of tickets to give away.
Tickets. We'll be giving away tickets all over the place. For football games, for concerts, we got tickets. We're going to get those out today here on The Game.
107.5 The Game.
In Columbia.
100.5 The Game.
In Florence.
100.3 The Game.
In Myrtle Beach. The Game Network. Sips and Sounds, the only craft beer, wine, and spirits tasting event held indoors under the cool AC. No rain, no heat, no worries. Unlimited sampling of over 40 brands of local and national craft beers, wine, seltzers, and spirits. Live performances by Ken and Drew of Sister Hazel, Dazer, and the Donovan Twins.
Saturday, September 28th. Get your unlimited tasting wristbands now at sipsandsoundscola.com.
107.5 The Game. Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios.
Take up to $20,000 off new Silverados.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. Together, let's drive.
Carolina Honda Powerhouse is your local Honda ATV, side-by-side, and motorcycle superstore. Hunters, now's the time to upgrade to a new Honda ATV or side-by-side and get free gear. Right now, buy a Honda Pioneer 700 or 1000 side-by-side and get a free top and windshield. Need an ATV? Get a free winch with the purchase of a new full-size Honda ATV. On-road or off-road, all roads lead to Carolina Honda Powerhouse. Exit 70 off I-20 and turn by the Flying J. CarolinaHonda.com.
Do you want to transform your outdoor space? Look no further than Make It Rain Irrigation and Landscapes. Specializing in all aspects of landscape construction, enhancements, and outdoor entertainment, they offer a wide range of services to make your outdoor dreams a reality. From outdoor lighting for homes and businesses to hardscape design and build, including outdoor kitchens, water features, stonework, and more. No rain, no pain. Call Make It Rain Irrigation and Landscapes today at 803-673-6337 or online at makeitrain803sc.com.
Chubby's Burgers off Forest Drive is celebrating its grand opening. The team at Chubby's Burgers is so excited to share their unique smash burger concept with you. There's something on the menu for everyone. And now Chubby's has 2 locations. Chubby's in Blackwood and now Chubby's Columbia. Off Forest Drive, right off I-77. Come check out their That's What She Said burger. And Chubby's is now serving their cheesesteaks daily. Stop by today and say Chubby's 2 and get 10% off from now until November 30th. Chubby's Burgers in Blackwood and now open off Forest Drive in Columbia.
Are you a Gamecock fan that's looking for flexibility to attend the games you want without committing to season tickets? If so, the Gamecock Go Pass is for you. For only $20 a month, your Gamecock Go Pass subscription provides you with access to all non-conference football games, most men's and women's basketball and baseball games, and all softball, soccer, and volleyball games. Plus, you have the ability to add on tickets for conference football games and premier basketball and baseball games for an additional cost. To learn more and sign up today, visit thegamecockclub.com/go.
From lazy days and spontaneous adventures to revving up and reconnecting, you can almost feel the excitement building, the road ahead, and a whole new season of possibilities. It's back to cool time right now at Love Chevy with amazing savings on a lot chock full of brand new Tahoes, Suburbans, and the totally redesigned Chevy Traverse. A bolder exterior design, turbocharged V6, best-in-class cargo area, plenty of space for the team and the tailgate. Speaking of football, every day is game day at Love Chevy, where it's all about the fundamentals, honesty, integrity, and straight talk. No ridiculous add-on stickers like the other guys. And who could forget about Love Chevy's $1,000 low price guarantee? Get back to cool today at South Carolina's #1 volume Chevy dealer, I-26 at Harbison, and at lovechevy.com. Together, let's drive.
That's the power of love. Love Chevy. Hey guys, Jay Phillips here from my good friends at Integrated Media, Columbia's leader in today's technology for your home and business. They've got TVs from Sony and Samsung, surround sound systems from Dolby, Sonos wireless speakers, Wi-Fi that works everywhere, even cameras to see what's going on around your home. They've got you covered. Call Integrated Media at 803-948-8327. Set up a time for them to come out to your house and talk with you about your wants and your needs. You want to cut the cord? They can help. Want one of those beautiful Samsung frame TVs that looks like art when it's not turned on? They do that too. Plus fantastic outdoor systems that let you enjoy your favorite team, movie, TV show, or music while you also enjoy our beautiful South Carolina weather. You can even stop in and see them at the Experience Center, 105 Snapdragon Court and Chapin, and get a real idea of what these things look like in your home. Do what I've done, and many of your friends and neighbors. Call 803-948-8327 and get home theater like never before from Integrated Media.
The Halftime Show, sponsored by the Men's Clinic of South Carolina, on your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia, 107.5 The Game.
Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach.
And 100.5 The Game in Florence. And the 107.5 The Game app.
We're busy around this joint. We always thank our good friends at the Men's Clinic of South Carolina. They've been sponsoring our little get-together here for a couple years now. We want to say thank you to Dr. Dan and those folks. Also, we're busy. It's here. Football season.
Is Men's Clinic going to keep you sane this year?
Jeez. Well, you know what? They had to help me with my brain fog to get through the season. Tomorrow, Tyler, Wes, Chris, the whole Gamecock Central crew taking over Gold Line Framing. Again, that's 9 to noon. You've been there before.
Great place.
Plenty of times. You guys have been there multiple times.
We're gonna make Chris frame something.
That's dangerous.
Yeah, it is dangerous. There's a lot of heavy machinery back there.
So Gold Line Framing tomorrow, Friday, the early game from 6 to 9. Tyler from 9 to noon in Darlington. Obviously, the Southern 500s this weekend. We'll be taking over. We're taking over everywhere. We're taking over Darlington from 6 to noon. Then we take over Columbia Craft on Friday from 3 to 6 for our Gamecocks tailgate show on Green Street in the Vista. Then we take over the party lot at Sound and Images on Saturday, 11 to 1, as we get rolling with Gamecocks game day. Then 1 o'clock, the network pregame, and then 4:15 kick, South Carolina Old Dominion. It's a lot of taking over, dude.
We do what we can.
Yes, we do. All right, so Shane Beamer with his Tuesday presser talking about a ton of different stuff, and Tyler did a great job ripping through all this. Here's Shane. Let's go to cut 15, Tyler. Shane talking about Rocket Sanders. We have kind of said, is Rocket Sanders going to be on a pitch count versus Old Dominion, on a pitch count early in the year in general? Because you want, obviously, the goal is to have Rocket Sanders the entire season. So here's Shane talking about, is Rocket Sanders going to be on some kind of carry count, so to speak, for the opener? We think. At some
point.
One more time.
No. First question, he's not on any kind of pitch count, to my knowledge. Now, if Clint Haggard or somebody comes to me and says that he is, then we will. But no, he's not limited in any way. So he'll play as many plays as we need. We need him to play. But certainly, we all, no matter who is your running back, it's a long season. It's a long game. We want to keep those guys fresh and keep rotating guys in and out. So we'll absolutely rotate, without a doubt, between Oscar and Juju. And we're excited about Jawarn Halm. We're excited about Matthew Fuller and Bradley Dunn and DJ Braswell. We got a lot of running backs in there that have played and that we're fired up about. And certainly it'll be a rotation. But, assuming Rocket's out there on the first play, depending on the personnel grouping, it'll be kind of his show, and we'll run with it and certainly rotate those guys in and keep them fresh too.
We always talk about how guys slip through the cracks for us. Mm-hmm. We said DJ Braswell's kind of slipped through the cracks with us. He almost slipped through the cracks with Shane.
I know. He's kind of the forgotten man in that run back room. And, gosh, he played such an important role at the end of last season. We obviously talk about, picking up the block in that what would be the game-winning touchdown pass from Rattler to Leggett. So, he's obviously somebody that has the advantage of having been here for a year that a lot of these guys that come into this room haven't been, including a guy like Matthew Fuller as a true freshman where, he just kind of gets lost in the shuffle there. But I wouldn't be surprised if he was somebody that got some run on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, and look, what Shane said, it's not just kind of that lip service, we're going to play everybody. Now, the running back position, and you just gotten smarter, I think, in dealing with the running back position because you get so beat up. You never avoid contact pretty much.
Yeah.
Quarterbacks get hit, wide receivers get hit, sure. But the running back, like a wide receiver makes a catch, goes out of bounds, right?
Sure.
Or makes a catch and he falls down. He's out in space.
Sure.
The running back is not. The running back is running right into traffic all the time.
And that's why, we're far removed from the days of George Rogers and Herschel Walker and Bo Jackson, where it was just one guy that took 98% of the handoffs and, went up the middle and, took all that abuse. Like, you have feature backs, which is what we expect Rocket Sanders to be, but you're still going to get a good mix of Attaway and apparently Juju McDowell and these other guys getting their touches, getting featured in this offense while Rocket Sanders is still probably taking a majority of the handoffs.
Yeah, it's just smart. Let's say Rocket Sanders, let's just make it up. Ready? Rocket Sanders has, and let's go to Kentucky real quick. Forget Old Dominion. Let's say Rocket Sanders has 17 carries against Kentucky. Oscar Attaway has 8. Juju McDowell gets maybe 4 or 5 carries and maybe three balls out of the backfield he catches, like screens, wheel routes. Maybe he's in the slot and he's, running a route against a linebacker or whatever. Let's say those 3 guys work that way.
Yep.
That would not be a surprise in any way, shape, or form.
No.
So that's kind of the feeling of, Rocket Sanders is going to be your dude, but you need a multiple amount of dudes today to get through this thing, especially if South Carolina is going to run the ball the way we feel they're going to run it. You want to keep guys fresh. And remember, Rocket Sanders is coming off of some injuries.
Well, and that's the thing, too. You obviously don't want to expect that to happen, but let's say he does get hurt again 3 games into the season. What's your plan? Who's your next guy in line? How do you split up the carries if you are down Rocket Sanders? Like, what is the and it may not even be like a season-ending injury. What if he aggravates something? And for precautionary measures, okay, maybe we don't want to play him in the Akron game or something like that because we've got Ole Miss coming up in a couple weeks. Or, hey, we're playing Alabama. He's not 100%, but we want to have him for Oklahoma the next week. What do you do? Like, there's a lot of scenarios to play out and figure out here.
I feel like you have enough depth in this backfield with Attaway, with McDowell. Watch this. Put Braswell's name first. Braswell and Fuller.
Go. Put some respect on it.
And the others you have. Howell. I mean, you have enough depth there to, let's say, if you have to have a game where maybe Rocket Sanders is beat up a little bit. Maybe his carries decrease in that game, how the game plays itself out. Like if you get a big lead in a game, hey, Rocket, have a seat. Have some Gatorade. Let's let other guys run the ball today. His stats might not be as wow, but if you can keep him fresh throughout the season, especially when you get to the meat of that schedule, where you got Oklahoma and Ole Miss and Alabama, and you're going to need Rocket Sanders.
Yes,
healthy and engaged.
Yes.
So that's another thing. How are you going to play the game? He's not on a pitch or carry count, but how are you looking at using him to make sure you maximize his effectiveness, especially through that tough part of your schedule?
And I think a lot of it's based on feel, especially earlier on in the season. Like, hey, going to keep you going. Something doesn't feel right. We're going to put you on the bench. We're going to go out there. Attaway's going to be our guy or whatever it may be. We're going to tiptoe it if we need to. But if you're full go, if you're feeling 100%, we're going to run you like normal.
And ready? What if this game is much closer on Saturday than anybody thinks?
And you need him to be a critical part of your offense.
So to me, it's always going to be a game-by-game situation if he's healthy. But if you need him to help you survive a way too close for comfort game against Old Dominion, hey, Rocket, here you go, bud. Have at it.
Yep.
So that's kind of the feeling when it comes to Rocket Sanders. All right, we'll get back with Shane. We'll talk about the kicker. Let's get to the kicking gig. I tell you, you know what? I hope we don't have to talk about it after game 1.
I hope at no point Monday do we have to mention Alex Herrera by name.
Because you know what that means?
That is my hope.
You know what we'll do, though? If Alex Herrera has a good day on Saturday, and we all hope he does, I think we should take a couple seconds to go, Okay, Alex Herrera, thumbs up. Good job. Because you know how it gets. We get lost.
Sure.
And if the kicker, like you said the other day, the kicker is like the umpire or the long snapper or the referee. If you're not talking about him, what does it mean?
Means they did their job.
Right. So we'll get if Alex Herrera does his job on Saturday, we have to take a second. We ought to make it a feature
We have to acknowledge him.
on this show to acknowledge Alex Herrera if he does his job every week
Definitely.
and not get lost. All right, we'll get back in here. We have tickets to give away. Tickets. Gamecock football tickets. Some guy named Hootie and his Blowfish will be in town on Thursday. So we will also be giving away tickets for that today as well. So be hanging. Hootie and the Blowfish tickets. Carolina Old Dominion tickets. Ticket-a-palooza on this show. That's coming up. Halftime show. Let's hear about the kicker from Shane next. Terry Ford, Tyler Head on the game in Columbia, Florence, and Myrtle Beach.
The Game Network in Columbia.
107.5 The Game.
In Florence.
100.5 The Game.
In Myrtle Beach.
100.3 The Game.
Yes, that phone in your pocket or purse will keep you in touch with your family and friends. It will take great selfies of you on amazing adventures or just this morning's breakfast. And it's pretty good in case of an emergency. But the single most important function of your phone is the game.
But both defenses have been this year. What's so funny?
That noise.
You can listen anywhere. Just go to iTunes or Google Play and download the Game app now.
Enjoy Gamecock Football Saturday at Columbia Craft Brewing Company on Green Street. Whether the game is home or away, Columbia Craft could be your tailgate headquarters. Enjoy a tasty treat from their lineup of local food trucks with any of Columbia Craft brews. Locally owned and operated, the enthusiasm Columbia Craft drinkers have for game days is awesome. Be there each Saturday to experience a new kind of tailgating. Columbia Craft is proudly distributed throughout the Midlands by KW Beverage. To try some of the brews handcrafted in Columbia, go to kwbeverage.com and hit the product hunter to find locations.
Firehouse Subs, Hook and Ladder jingle, take one.
Hook and ladder, when it's hot, it just tastes better. Warm that smoky turkey, that thin slice.
Guys, this is a 30-second ad. You gotta sing faster.
Hook and ladder, when it's hot, it just tastes better. Melty cheese and toast bread, mustard, mayo, purpose bread, lettuce, green, and onion. The sandwich is too big for the song. It's too big.
The Hook and Ladder, available only at participating Firehouse Subs restaurants.
The game of football is about pain. Ever since I was 5 years old, it's been all about football. It's been about running, jumping, blocking, tackling. I stopped playing at 31.
You're listening to Michael Robinson, retired pro fullback.
I thought that foot pain was going to be with me for the rest of my life. I'm so glad I met Good Feet. I'm so glad those arch supports are in my shoes.
The Good Feet Store. Call 1-800-NEW-FEET or visit goodfeet.com.
Hi, Jen here. Did you know you could earn up to 4.59% annual percentage yield with All South Federal Credit Union's premium checking account? That's 30 times more than the national average interest checking rate, which means more money in your bank account each month. Plus, they have 23 locations right here in the Midlands. Open an account online at allsouth.org or visit an All South location today to start earning more. All South is federally insured by the NCUA.
Summer was fun. Now the kids are back in school and you finally got some time to get your house back in order. It's time to get your home fresh and clean for the fall. Call Zerorez Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning today and mention me, Bill Gunner, 107.5 The Game, to get a free hallway with 3 rooms of carpet for only $129. Book online at ZerorezColumbia.com. Zerorez, spell it backwards or forwards, is the right way to clean.
Since 1963, Takeuchi has been a pioneer in the compact construction industry, having developed the world's first compact excavator in 1971 and the world's first compact rubber track loader in 1986. Takeuchi continues to revolutionize the industry through innovative technology and listening to customer needs. Now you can partner with a truly global leader by contacting TEC Rental Equipment in West Columbia, Orangeburg, and Somerville. From world first to world leader, Takeuchi.
Fall is just around the corner. That means phenomenal weather and getting out to your favorite golf course here in the Midlands. Charwood Golf Club, where Rock and Daniel Lucas have an incredible layout and create a fun, relaxed environment each time you head out to the course. So give them a phone call today and line up that tee time, 803-755-2000. Again, that's 803-755-2000. Go find out about one of the Midlands' hidden golf gems. That's Charwood Golf Club. Get out there today and schedule an appointment, 803-755-2000.
What you're talking about. Sponsored by Love Chevy. It's back to cool season with big-time savings on Tahoe Suburbans and the all-new Chevy Traverse. I-26 at Harbison at lovechevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Hey, it's Rich Eisen here. Join me and my compadre, Chris Brockman, every Monday on the Overreaction Monday podcast. You're also saying the record's going to go down.
I'm saying the record's going down anyway. The guy.
I don't think you're off on this at all. Like, you're spot on here. I don't think this is an overreaction because we have no idea what we're reacting to. Come react or overreact with us. How would you say that? An overreaction, sir. Overreaction Monday. Wherever you listen, it's game over.
Over, man.
What you're talking about.
Sponsored by Love Chevrolet
on the Game Network.
What we're talking about, obviously, is Carolina football. Gamecocks, Monarchs, 4:15 kick Saturday as the season opens. South Carolina, roughly 3 touchdown favorites at home against an Old Dominion team that the analytics computer community says is about a 4-win squad this year.
Yep.
So, again, 21-point favorite at home on Saturday. We've been discussing that. And we've been talking about, again, 21-point favorite. Yes, a team that was 6-7 last year. But there are a lot of people who follow the Sun Belt that thinks Old Dominion will take a step back. But there's no guarantee because, again, rosters flip over the way they do today. Also, we're talking about South Carolina being 5-7. You can't take anybody for granted that comes in either into your barn or you're going to somebody else's dojo.
Not at all.
Also, we discussed Rocket Sanders not on a pitch count, fully healthy, 100% ready to rock and roll. And now we're going to get to the kicking. Here's Shane Beamer, cut two, Tyler, talking about the kicking job, which went to Alex Herrera.
Yeah, we'll constantly continue to compete, throughout the year. That's how we do things. Like I told our players this morning, practice matters, games matter, and every week's a new season. But certainly coming out of the preseason, David, we felt like Alex was just a little bit farther along. It was a competition. I think all those kickers would tell you they didn't have the best first week of practice, but I thought as we got into scrimmage situations, more competitive situations, stadium environments, that Alex took a step and separated himself from the rest of that group as well. I like the group. It's a talented group of specialists, but that's what we saw. And you would expect that from him as he's an older guy that's been around here for a while and has played in games, and there should be a quiet confidence with him, not to mention he's a talented kicker.
And a little bit different than what we heard, a couple weeks ago with, hey, little lack of consistency going on here.
Yeah, it definitely seems like they've, or at least Herrera has turned it on as of late. I did think it was interesting when the depth chart came out the other day that you had Mason Love at second ahead of William Joyce, because originally it was Herrera and Joyce battling for the spot, and it didn't sound like either one of them was making as much progress as Beamer had hoped. And then you had Mason Love who came in as a punter but also kicked in high school and had the capability of being a part of that competition, that he apparently surpassed William Joyce and pushed, I guess, Herrera well enough to where Herrera is now the starter. But again, there's a difference between kicking in practice and kicking in a scrimmage against your teammates and your coaches and kicking in front of 80, 90,000 people, whether that be in Williams-Brice Stadium or on the road to a place like Kentucky, that I'm personally going to be on pins and needles until he makes not just a kick. Like, yeah, you can bank through a 20-yarder and that'll get your confidence up, but until he makes one 40 to 50 yards with some adversity, you know what I mean? Like, that's when I really feel comfortable. Like, okay, Kicking's going to be all right.
Well, if my memory serves me, which obviously doesn't, that's why I've got to go to I got to go see my buddy Dr. Dan at the men's clinic. 2 years ago, when Mitch Jeter first took the gig, wasn't it in the first game he hit 250-plus yarders against Georgia State?
I believe so, because he didn't miss at all that first year.
No, he didn't miss anything, and 2 of his first kicks were long kicks. And remember, didn't Shane tell the story? He might have told it at the affiliates luncheon that you couldn't go to because you had to be here. Man, I'll tell you what, I'm not going to lie to you. That banana pudding and those cakes were good.
Wish I would have known.
Thank you, Seawells. I was going to try to sneak you something in a backpack or whatever, but
listen, you sneaking banana pudding to give to anyone else, I just don't believe it.
Well, I would sneak you a container, but when you got it,
it'd be empty.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it smells like banana pudding, but I don't see any in here.
I love that stuff, man. I think Shane at the affiliates luncheon told the story of Mitch Jeter when Jeter got the gig. It was a battle between Jeter and Herrera, right? If you remember. So Jeter wins barely. And then Jeter hits a 50-yarder.
Yep.
And comes running over and just screaming, going to the sidelines going, bleep and believe in me, bleep it now, bleep and believe in me now, or whatever. And Shane looked and said, dude, I believed in you, so I gave you the job. But Jeter was like, geek, because, again, you go out there to kick a 50-plus yarder.
Sure.
And you've never kicked field goals in a game.
Right.
And he did. He banged them. He banged those 50. I remember the spring game. Both Jeter and Herrera kicked great in the spring game. Because we were like, I remember it was myself and Chris Miller and Heath, and we were like, it's going to be tough competition, man, because they're both making kicks.
Yep.
But, Jeter was so good. And really, look, last year he only missed 2.
Yeah.
So in 2 years, the dude missed 2 kicks. So he was excellent. And I know, again, we talk about it all the time, the lineage of kickers here at South Carolina has always been really good. And I think that, and it's human nature. Fan bases go, oh, kicker's going to be fine. Why? Because they're always fine here.
Sure.
Like Green Bay with quarterbacks. Oh, Jordan Love's going to be fine. Why? Because Rodgers and Favre were. Okay. So I feel like that's almost the mindset of a lot of people, but you can't take that for granted.
And that's what worries me a little bit about this weekend. If you didn't catch it yesterday, Beamer mentioned a very important stat that Old Dominion in the past 3 years has blocked the second most kicks out of anybody in college football. So you have a kicker, first time starting, kicking meaningful field goals that aren't just extra points. If he goes out there and gets a field goal or 2 blocked on Saturday, yes, within the context of the game itself, that's very important. But what does that do mentally? What you get blocked in your first game as a starting kicker after sitting on the bench and watching other guys kick for 6 years, like, can you recover from that? Can you be okay in week 2 at Kentucky and so on and so forth if that's how you start off your field goal kicking career?
So much of this stuff is mental. It just, we talk about it. Like, we corners. You got to have amnesia because you're going to get beat.
Oh, yeah.
You're a corner, you get beat.
You're going to give up yards, touchdowns, whole 9 yards.
Yeah, I mean, again, quarterback, go to the next play. You can't do anything about the play just happened, but learn from it and go to the next play. Baseball, closers. Got to have amnesia, right? Can't get too high, can't get too low. Even if you get a save or you blow a save, amnesia, move to the next. Obviously, kicking's like that too. You got to find a way to have amnesia, but you know what? Easier said than done. The mind is a powerful instrument. We talked about this yesterday. Your mind, if you control your mind, you use it for good, you can pretty much do anything. If your mind starts winning, and it starts to dig into those deep areas of your brain.
Especially for something like kicking, where everything has to be as close to perfect as possible for that ball to go through the uprights from 20, 30, or 50 yards. If you're even slightly second-guessing yourself or the operations of your long snapper, your holder, your offensive line up front, whatever it may be, if you're second-guessing to any degree, that can be enough to throw you off.
And remember this. Add this to it. You're a kicker. You got one job.
Yep.
You don't tackle people, you don't hit people, you don't catch passes, you don't run the ball. Well, Kai Kroger throws passes, but you're a place kicker. It's the ultimate. You got one job.
This is all you do.
And you know this. And look, it's spun differently. It's spun better today, and I don't think it's as bad as it used to be. But still, your teammates look at you. You're not the same player they are.
Right.
Let's just be real here. So let's say you are missing kicks. And not only is it messing with you in your head as performance, but look at how your teammates are looking at you when you come off the field.
Right.
It's just human nature. So there's a lot to unpack here for Alex Herrera. And, hey, we're pulling for you. So we will see how that goes. Hopefully Alex Herrera makes some kicks. everyone feels better, especially Alex Herrera, after the Old Dominion game is over and the train rolls off to Lexington. I will get back in here. Firehouse Subtext, the hour, 803-404-6100. But right now, Tyler, before we roll out of here, let's hear that cool sounder.
Run to your phone and start dialing 803-404-6100. It's time to give away some Gamecocks football tickets.
Touchdown, Carolina.
Sponsored by Carolina Honda Powerhouse, your local Honda motorcycle, ATV, and side-by-side superstore. Online at carolinahonda.com.
Let's go. Caller number 6. Caller number 6 at 803-404-6100. You'll get a couple tickets to go check out South Carolina Old Dominion, the opener at Williams-Brice on Saturday, 4:15 kick here on the game in Columbia and in Myrtle Beach. Again, caller number 6 is a winner right now from Carolina Honda Powerhouse and the game.
From the Midlands to the PD to the beach. The Game Network. Powered by Integrated Media, The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass, a true reflection of quality. The Game TV.
This is Andrew Perloff with a Sportsman. It's sponsored by Wrangler. It's Wrangler season out there. Open roads, endless horizons. Shop Wrangler.com for new denim styles. LeBron James made an interesting demand on his show, The Shop. He doesn't want his son, Bronny, to call him Dad on the court. It's going to be fun. No one knows if Bronny can actually play, but LeBron's awkward dad energy is enough to make the Lakers one of the more interesting teams in the league. I'm Andrew Perloff.
It's Wrangler season out there. Warmer days, cooler nights. Open roads, endless horizons. And you need to be ready in jeans made for the unpredictable. Wrangler, for the ride of life. Shop our newest styles today at Wrangler.com.
Our Labor Day savings start now at Lowe's. Right now, buy one, get one free on Valspar Reserve or HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams Infinity or Showcase Interior Paint via Lowe's gift card rebate. Whether you're painting one accent wall or want to freshen up a whole room, we've got you covered. Because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows home improvement. More terms and restrictions apply. See Lowe's.com/rebates for details. Valid through 9/4.
Save on O'Reilly Brake Parts Cleaner. Get 2 cans of O'Reilly Brake Parts Cleaner for just $8. Valid in-store only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. You go into your shower feeling, but as soon as you reach for the Irish Spring, your day immediately gets better. That crisp, fresh, unmistakable Irish Spring scent zings your brain and awakens your senses. So when you finally emerge from the shower, 37 minutes later, because you pay the water bill so you can stay in there as long as you want, you're ready to take on the day and smell great doing it. Irish Spring Body Wash and Bar Soap. Fresh, green, Irish. Shop now at Walmart.
I can't believe tax season is here already. Look at all this info I have to enter.
Phil's small accounting firm is growing in numbers.
Why didn't I take that typing class in high school?
A data entry specialist could really help him in a crunch.
I got blisters on my fingers.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
See website for details. Lending Store is not a lender and does not make credit decisions. Must be 18 years old. Not available in all states.
Man, where did you get the cash to get your car fixed? I thought you were Baroque.
That's easy. LendingStore.com.
And how did you pay your kids' medical bills? Aren't your credit cards maxed out?
LendingStore.com.
And I suppose LendingStore.com is helping you pay your rent, too?
You know it.
Need cash fast? Go to LendingStore.com. They'll connect you to a lender in minutes to find out if you can get $500 to $5,000 as soon as tomorrow, regardless of your credit history. No paperwork, no phone calls. Just a few clicks on your smartphone and you'll find out if you're getting the extra cash you need.
Yo, that is fast. I got bills to pay and I just got approved.
If you have bills to pay, get the cash you need by going to LendingStore.com. Don't wait. Go to LendingStore.com. That's LendingStore.com.
The Halftime Show, sponsored by the Men's Clinic of South Carolina.
It's time for Text of the Hour on the Firehouse Subs text line on the Halftime Show.
On your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia, 107.5 The Game.
Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach.
And 100.5 The Game in Florence. And the 107.5 The Game app.
All right, tickets done?
Tickets are done.
Nice.
Shout out to Clarence.
Thank you, Clarence. Appreciate you.
There will be more. Don't worry.
Oh, yeah, there will be. Also, there'll be Hootie and the Blowfish tickets as well. It's Ticket-a-Palooza in this joint today. So
we some tickets to Imagine Dragons this morning.
Yeah, they're gone now. We got rid of all those.
Well, the show's tonight, so...
Yeah, we had to get rid of those quick.
We had so much time.
Oh, yeah. All right, so we'll have Hootie tickets and Gamecock Monarch tickets as well here on the show. All right, Firehouse Sub text of the hour. What do you got there, my man?
David asks, as with any new quarterback, those growing pains, what realistic expectations should we have for Lenore Sellers?
In the first game or the season?
Doesn't specify, but we can go first game.
I mean, in the first game, look, again, I think we said this yesterday. First of all, don't make any killer back-breaking mistakes. That's number one. Number two, and I hate this phrase, manage the game. It's your first start. So manage the game. Don't make any stupid mental errors that can lead to turnovers.
Right.
But if you go by statty stuff, if he would throw for a couple hundred, run for maybe 50 or 60, show us some of that big playability, even if it's one or two plays.
Yeah.
My expectation level is not large in your first start. Like I say, those four things to me, don't make any backbreaking mistakes that can lead to turnovers or scores. Manage the game. And if you throw for 200 and maybe run for 50, it's a nice day at the office.
And I think it's also important, too, and this goes for the team as a whole, we'd love to see him be Superman. Don't put him in a position where he has to be Superman on Saturday.
Yes. Add that to our list. If you play this game the way it should be played on Saturday and the way we hope it plays itself out, you're not asking him to go out there and spin it 40 times.
Right.
That would not be good in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I liken this first game to like when your 16-year-old goes for their first drive ever after they get their license, no parent in the car. And I'm sure as a parent that's extremely nerve-wracking, like, oh boy, I'm going to have a wadded up car here in 5 minutes. But it's about, okay, 10 and 2 on the wheel, use your blinkers, yield, stop at stoplights. Like, it's all the basics, right? Just make sure you're going out there and doing what you're supposed to do, and you'll be just fine. And that's kind of the same thing with Sellers. Like, look, you don't have to go there. You don't have to drive on the interstate yet. You know what I mean? Take a side road, get to where you're going, and just be safe getting there.
Yellow light means stop.
That's right.
not speed up.
Exactly.
Not step on the gas.
Just be efficient. Take care of what you need to take care of. Again, cross your T's and dot your I's, and try and limit mistakes.
What commercial is that? It's an insurance commercial. What commercial is that where the dad is sitting at the dining room table looking at his phone, and they have the tick, 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 and then finally the message pops up, Dad, I made it to school.
Yeah.
Like the first time his daughter was driving.
How relatable is that?
Yeah. So that's kind of the one that's the kind of one we're thinking of. And if you have kids who are driving, you know how that first time goes, right? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's like, even if you're trying to act cool, you're fine. You're going to be good. Go ahead. Especially if they're driving your car. Because you're thinking about, oh, geez, how much is my insurance going to go up? Hopefully they don't hit a wall. Hopefully they don't drive through somebody's living room. Hopefully nobody hits them. All that mess goes through your head. Then when you get that text message, I made it. Yeah.
Yeah. So essentially that's what Sellers is trying to do. He's trying to make it to his destination on Saturday. And yeah, we'll get to driving on the interstate. We'll get to, passing cars on a rural road or whatever it may be. All that stuff's going to come later. Today, or on Saturday at least, it's about going the speed limit, stopping at stop signs, and just doing everything that you're supposed to be doing out there.
Check all the little thing boxes.
Yes.
And if you do that, if some big things happen, great. But if you manage the football game, you make smart decisions, you don't try to do too much, again, you get the car home.
Yes.
You get the car to the destination and back home.
Right.
That's the important thing. So I believe that's kind of the expectation I have, is just, doing those little things right. And hopefully you've got a game where you win by a big margin, and you don't have to worry about, throwing 30, 35 passes or whatever the case, or you're not trying to come back from a deficit. Look, we'll go back to this again. All I know is SMU is supposed to roll into Reno and dismember Nevada.
Yes.
That's all we heard, right? Oh, SMU's a dark horse in the ACC. SMU's got a lot of talent. Preston Stone, high-level quarterback. SMU's got dudes everywhere. SMU. By the way, Nevada's terrible. New head coach in Choate. This thing should be R-rated for violence.
Sure.
SMU had to come back to win that game.
5-point game.
Yeah. I know the game was on the road, and I get South Carolina's at home, but still. My point of, even though I think South Carolina should win this game by a couple of scores, it's out there. If you show up and you don't take it serious, if you walk in and just kind of, hey, ho, this thing could get scary.
Yeah, and I don't mean this as an insult. South Carolina's not good enough to not take them seriously.
That's what I mean. You went 5-7 last year.
Yeah.
You need to take everybody seriously. And if you're Shane, obviously you balance this stuff. You want to continually remind your team what happened in the past because you move forward. But again, you use the past for lessons. And the lesson from the past is, we were 5-7. Everybody's a big game to us.
Right.
Every game we've got to come in at 110%. We can't think we play 68.25% against anybody, we're going to walk off the field with a W.
Right.
So that's the other part. And that's the other thing about this game. You're coming off of that 5-7 and a loss to Clemson, which was, Clemson didn't score an offensive touchdown.
Right.
So you come off of 5-7, you didn't go to a bowl game. The last game you played was bleh. Your defense played well enough to win. You got to be in not a good mood. If you're truly a competitor, you got to be a little, I got to get this taste out of my mouth because I haven't been on a football field since the Clemson game.
Sure.
So all that combined to say we should not see a South Carolina team that doesn't bring it.
Shouldn't.
Heavy on Saturday. So, all right, football coming up in the 1 o'clock hour. Thank you for the text, by the way, 803-404-6100. We always appreciate the text messages on the Firehouse sub-text line. Football in the 1 o'clock hour. We'll be hearing from Debo Williams, Lenora Sellers, Luke Doty, Nick Emanwari, a lot of South Carolina sound, and Shane Beamer, obviously. And take a look around the world of college football and the NFL. That's coming up on the halftime show, sponsored by Atlantic Windows and Doors. Terry Ford, Tyler Head, running up until 3 on the game.
107.5 The Game. Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios.
Take up to $20,000 off new Silverados.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. Together, let's drive.
Is your crawl space damp or musty? Water in your crawl space can cause wood to rot and creates an environment for mold and mildew that can make its way inside your home. Canty Foundation Specialist specializes in crawl space repair. Call us today for your free inspection so you can have the peace of mind knowing your crawl space is dry and your home is protected. Call today, 803-424-8380, or visit cantycanfixit.com.
Fall is just around the corner. That means phenomenal weather and getting out to your favorite golf course here in the Midlands. Charwood Golf Club, where Rock and Daniel Lucas have an incredible layout and create a fun, relaxed environment each time you head out to the course. So give them a phone call today and line up that tee time, 803-755-2000. Again, that's 803-755-2000. Go find out about one of the Midlands' hidden golf gyms. That's Charwood Golf Club. Get out there today and schedule an appointment, 803-755-2000.
Have you had a broken windshield complement to those South Carolina roads? The insurance company might try to steer you one way, to the big national guy. But remember, it's your choice. Go local. Call Absolute Glass.
We can repair your car back to factory specifications, including recalibrating all of your safety systems. We do great work and have been building long-lasting relationships for over 20 years.
That's why we've been voted Best Glass Company in Lexington for 15 straight years. Visit us online at AbsoluteGlassInc.com or call us at 951-7200. And remember, if you can see through it, We can do it.
From lazy days and spontaneous adventures to revving up and reconnecting, you can almost feel the excitement building, the road ahead, and a whole new season of possibilities. It's back to cool time right now at Love Chevy with amazing savings on a lot chock full of brand new Tahoes, Suburbans, and the totally redesigned Chevy Traverse. A bolder exterior design, turbocharged V6, best-in-class cargo area, plenty of space for the team and the tailgate. Speaking of football, every day is game day at Love Chevy, where it's all about the fundamentals, honesty, integrity, and straight talk. No ridiculous add-on stickers like the other guys. And who could forget about Love Chevy's $1,000 low price guarantee? Get back to cool today at South Carolina's #1 volume Chevy dealer, I-26 at Harbison, and at lovechevy.com. Together, let's drive.
That's the power of love. Love Chevy.
Bill Gunner for Dr. Dan Balknight and the Men's Clinic. Getting older is never fun. You start experiencing some symptoms that you're not accustomed to. Maybe it's brain fog. Maybe it's low energy level. Maybe it's lack of drive and motivation. But at the Men's Clinic, Dr. Dan Balknight is ready to help you with an individualized treatment that will treat your needs. So give him a phone call today, 803-875-MENS. Again, that's 803-875-MENS, or visit him on the web for more information, men'sclinicsc.com.
Firehouse Subs, hook and ladder jingle, take one.
Hook and ladder, when it's hot, it just tastes better. Warm that smoky turkey, that thin slice.
Guys, this is a 30-second ad. You gotta sing faster.
Hook and ladder, when it's hot, it just tastes better. Melty cheese and toast bread, mustard, mayo, purpose bread, lettuce, green, and onion. The sandwich is too big for the song. It's too big.
The Hook and Ladder, available only at participating Firehouse Subs restaurants.
This is Graham Murray, appliance specialist for The Nest. We offer unique and affordable products in plumbing, lighting, and appliances. We have product specialists on site to provide you the attention to detail and service you deserve. We believe in hard work, doing whatever it takes to get the job done, and providing exceptional customer experience. Our appliance division offers in-house consultation. We have an in-house installation and warranty division. Our staff has nearly 70 years experience. Come see us at 1331 Gadsden Street in the heart of the Vista.
WNKT FM Eastover, Columbia.
Congrats to the Gamecocks women on another national championship.
A Cumulus media station.
The Halftime Show, sponsored by the Men's Clinic of South Carolina.
Not feeling like yourself? Call the Men's Clinic at 803-875-MENS.
It's 1 o'clock. That means football. Football. And more football on the Halftime Show.
Is sponsored by Atlantic Window and Door. Go to awdsc.com.
On the Game Network and the 107.5 The Game app.
I just love the riff. I mean, what a riff. Don't want to talk over that. Jeez. All right, halftime show, football, and more football in the 1 o'clock hour every day here on the halftime show. Brought to you, I should say sponsored by Atlantic Windows and Doors. They frown upon us saying brought to you by now.
Okay.
There's some kind of focus group they did somewhere in some corporate office, and they love sponsored by and they hate brought to you by, and I don't know why.
Well, that's above our pay grade, too.
My head hurts thinking about that.
They say don't say it, we don't say it, and I keep it at that.
Pretty much. And I wouldn't even talk about it until I said brought to you by. I don't know why I said that, but it's sponsored by Atlantic Windows and Doors.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to get back to Shane here in a little bit talking to the media, but let's get to, because this doesn't take long, our bud Lenore Sellers talking to the media. He learned a lot probably from Spencer Rattler.
Sure.
But you know the one thing he learned from Spencer Rattler? Keep your answers short. He makes Spencer look like...
Spencer looks like a...
Dow Loggins. He makes Spencer look like Dow Loggins.
Yeah, like he could lead one of those lecture classes at a university.
Oh, yeah. Or Pete Limbo. He makes Spencer look like Pete Limbo. So Lenore Sellers, this is great. We might be able to go through every Lenore Sellers cut in the next 3 minutes.
I can try.
All right, here we go. Here, and we're going to see how fast we get through these. This is great.
All right, wait. Let me get to an even number here.
18.
All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, and
here's Lenore.
Not really. I still go through practice the same way I was. Practice means I would stay the same for me, honestly.
That's 6 seconds about what's changed since he's been named the starter. He says nothing.
Yep.
He says nothing's changed. It took 6 seconds. Now, here's Lenore's about being excited with this opportunity.
Very excited. You dream about things like this as from a kid till now. It's finally came true, so I just got to go out there and play.
That's 6 more seconds. Now, here's Lenore Sellers' excitement for the Gamecock run game.
Very exciting. But the offensive line, the way they've been working, and that's bringing in Rocket, Juju, Oscar, Jawarn Howell, those guys. It's a lot we can do.
That's 10 seconds. We have 22 seconds total and 3 answers. All right, now here's Lenore Sellers. Is it good to have a quarterback competition?
I think it's good. Competition pushes you to be better. So, it would be better to have somebody in here competing with you rather than just coming here. They say, oh, you're the starter. It's like you might get like today's school, not me personally, but I'm just saying it's better to have competition.
Now, I'm going to say this. Every answer makes sense.
Oh, totally.
And no answer is like being a jerk or being whatever.
Sure.
But it's just very concise.
Yeah, no, he's genuine. He's just not long-winded.
No, not at all. And he says despite all the good things that have been happening to him, his grandma is not impressed.
No, she is not.
She still says it every time she sees me. So, and he still say it every day. He calls my parents, talk to my parents, like, yeah, he still sucks or whatever. But, so.
Wasn't that Riley Leonard when he was at Duke? They did a big story on game day about his mom every day calls and says, hi, you suck. Hey, it's your mom, you still suck.
Yeah, I think so.
So sort of like the same thing. Keep you grounded.
Yeah, and it was Loggins that told us last year that, I guess in the communication he had with his family or something, was like, yeah, his grandma tells him he sucks every day.
Keep you grounded, boy.
Yeah.
See, everybody's got that old relative. Hey, boy, I don't care what you done for a living. You still a snot-nosed little baby to me, and you suck.
Sounds like that's grandma.
Okay, and here's Lenore Sellers. This is the longest cut. Here's Lenore's talking about Spencer Rattler and the importance Rattler has been to his development as a quarterback. Talking about
I talked to Spence since the day they named me the starter. Then I talked to him after his 2-minute drive. Then I talked to him after his throw yesterday, I think it was, or Sunday, whichever it was. We talked then, and then I think it's good. I had him in my room. I could just look up to him, older guy, experienced guy. Just his confidence, his ability to run the huddle, run the plays and stuff. So.
All right, that's talking about what he watched with Spencer, and that's really the perfect scenario is have a veteran starter who is a really good leader, who knows his craft, and let the youngin learn from the vet. Exactly. And that's what happened last year. Last one, here's Lenore Sellers talking about the Old Dominion defense.
3-high safety look is what they did last year. Disruptive in the run game, pass game, just with 3-high, you can get a little confused, different looks and stuff like that.
That was dead on 4 minutes.
Think about it. And that's including the little riffs we put in.
Sure.
Lenore Sellers' actual talk time, 77 seconds.
Well, his whole actual presser was only 3-4 minutes long. 7
answers you pulled.
Yes.
A total of 77 seconds, which equals 11 seconds a cut on average.
It's pretty on brand. And Rattler went a little longer than that.
Not much.
But not much longer.
No.
Yeah, I mean, he coached him up right in the say something without saying a lot.
Well, I think here's what and Gideon, we're having some fun with this. This is not a criticism at all. This is just we're having some fun.
That is his personality to a T.
Yeah, and this is me with all this. And I know we're in a world, we work in the media, and we want people to talk a lot so we can pull stuff for our content and our topics and our conversations. But if I was someone, and either a player or a coach or a front office guy or an owner, obviously Jerry Jones doesn't follow this, but I would want to live in this world like Lenore Sellers, and you know why? Because I don't want to cause distraction.
Sure.
I don't want to cause issues. I want to keep it on point. I think the less is more, be concise, answer the question, because again, the people asking the question have a job to do.
Yes.
Answer the question, but do it in a concise manner so where you don't go off your road and say something that's going to come back to bite you or your team in the backside.
Especially, and look, right now we're coming out of camp, we're getting ready to start the season. There's not a point where you have the opportunity to be too critical, but when you say, all right, let's just say hypothetically they lose against Alabama, he gets sacked 6 times or something like that. Hey, offensive line wasn't protecting you very well up front there, like to almost prevent yourself. And we saw this with Rattler last year.
Mm-hmm.
You could almost see it, like he wanted to say more, but he kept himself reserved. He didn't throw anybody under the bus to say something like, hey, my guys work hard. It's a good team we're up against. We're going to go back to it on Monday and try to be better next week.
Or he would say this, I got to get rid of the ball quicker.
Yeah, instead of had some blocking, maybe could have made some throws downfield, which, again, we wouldn't have been mad at him for saying that because it would have been true, especially after that North Carolina game.
Oh, sure.
But it's about, especially as a quarterback, you're that leader, right?
Well, good leadership is when you do well, it's we. When you don't do well, it's I.
Right.
That's good leadership. And you don't throw people under the bus. And you don't criticize your teammates. And so being concise, to your point, stops you from yourself.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Right.
So, again, Lenore Sellers, 77 seconds of audio, 7 questions answered. But to get away from to how quick they were, you hear that, you almost hear it in his voice, Tyler, how even-keeled he is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's changed since you moved to starter? Nothing. I keep working. I work like I work. I've been working. Now I'm just a starter, but I keep working hard because I worked hard when I wasn't a starter. Nothing's really changed. I'm still working hard to be the best player I can be on the field, off the field, in the film room, in the weight room, whatever.
Right.
And, when he talks about the quarterback competition, it's good. Competition's good, which is the right answer, very even-keeled. Every answer you heard was very concise, but it made sense, and it went to his personality, which we've heard is very even.
Yeah,
he's a very even guy.
Yeah, absolutely, and that is a good personality to have as a quarterback. Sure, do we love outgoing personalities that will say anything? Yeah,
sure,
definitely entertaining. But from the standpoint of your own team, I think you also enjoy having somebody that is reserved, is focused, right? Like that's what you get when you look at Lenore Sellers, hear him talk. He just seems focused, right? Like he doesn't seem to be distracted by other things going on, very focused on what he's doing, which, again, for the most important position on the field in quarterback, you need somebody that's focused.
Yeah, and I think learning from Rattler last year, like we said, if you wanted to learn how a quarterback handled adversity, you couldn't have had a better teacher than last year's version of Spencer Rattler. I mean, Rattler had some phenomenal games last year. That Mississippi State game was ridiculous. He had, 2 or 3 games last year where his completion percentage was just unreal.
Yeah, the Mississippi State games where he only missed 2 throws.
Yeah,
and I think he was perfect at halftime, like 20 of 20.
Yeah, I mean, he had a few games last year where he had actually had more time to throw it, and he showed you his arm talent, and that offense cooked. But there were also times when, he could have had a half-step drop and got killed. Had no time to throw. Was always running for his life. Couldn't go through progressions. So Spencer had moments where, again, he could have been frustrated. He could have learned. He could have been on the sideline yelling at his offensive line or whatever, but he didn't. The time that Nick Harbor dropped the pass, what would Rattler do? Walked over, put his arm around, talked to him.
Yep.
So, Spencer, I think, showed Lenore Sellers how you handle the adversities of the game. And remember the Texas A&M game? We had 3 intentional groundings for Rattler because he's trying to get rid of the ball because of heat. That's on Spencer. Spencer even said after the game, "I can't do it." Spencer didn't say this. Well, come on, dude. I got 35 guys trying to kill me. I got to do something.
Right.
No, he said this. I got to be better, and I've got to handle those situations where I can't have 3 intentional grounding calls.
Right.
That's how you handle your business. Again, when you're successful, it's we. When something goes wrong, it's I. And it feels like that Lenore's got to watch a guy who really had to navigate that world last year in Rattler. Football in the 1 o'clock hour, sponsored by Atlantic Windows and Doors. Terry Ford, Tyler Head here on the game. All right, let's spin over to a little Debo. Debo Williams talking about donuts, Tyler. A lot of talk about donuts for this defense, which is basically giving up zeros. There's not a lot, but guys we've heard on the defense talking about want to be a historic defense this year, want to dictate to the offense this year, want to, pitch shutouts, want to basically intimidate and be historic. So here's Debo talking about donuts.
Oh, I can't wait, man. And like I tell everybody, I said at SEC Media Day, donuts. That's what we want, being the best defense in the nation. So every day we pushing to that, and we're going to continue to work hard and get better every single day.
I'm going to tell you, this defense has pieces to be good. I don't know if it's the best in the nation, historic, best in the SEC. But I think this defense is a lot better than it was last year, a lot deeper. You got guys who you know have been productive in other spots. You got a really nice 5-star freshman edge. You've got a 4-star linebacker who might get some run. And in the secondary, you brought everybody back except one starter. It has the pieces, Tyler, to be a really good defense.
It certainly has the makeup of something that can be successful, hopefully very special. Of course, everything that we heard coming away from camp and scrimmage and all that stuff was positive. But again, that's controlled by the coaches. Like, it's not going to be overly negative, if negative at all. So now, 3 days away, go prove it. We've heard you guys talk the entire offseason about donuts, about historical defense, all that kind of stuff. That is fine. That is the mindset I want you to have in that locker room. I want you to believe you're the best defense in the world, no matter what the statistics say. Now you got to go out there and do it. Show us you are what you say you are.
You know, I said this, we were talking about this last week, and I'm one of these people that, again, I grew up where you didn't brag, you didn't throw out predictions about how great you are, you just went out and did it. And when you did it, you're supposed to act like you've done it before.
Sure.
But, in this specific situation, on a football team coming off of 5-7, with the question marks you have on offense, I almost like this puffy chest of this defense. Like, guys, we got it. We got a lot of players here. We're really good. We're going to be really good. And we're going to carry this thing. And we're going to intimidate and dominate. And we're going to throw donuts. And look, I know if it doesn't work, then you got some splaining to do, right?
Sure.
But I like this feeling of confidence they have in themselves with their collective unit to say, we're going to go out and be intimidating and dominant.
It's an internal belief, because if you tell yourself the same thing over and over again, eventually you're going to believe it. If other people tell you the same thing over and over again, eventually you're going to believe it, whether that's true or not. But if they're telling each other in the locker room, hey, we're the best, nobody's going to stop us, we're going to put up donuts, all this kind of stuff, they're at least going into the season with the right kind of mindset, and we'll see what happens on the field. I don't know if they're going to be as good as they advertise themselves to be, but we're going to find out here soon.
You know what else, too? Outside of, and I know this is a cliche a lot, but outside of that locker room and outside of Columbia, South Carolina, nobody believes in them anyway.
Of course.
Nobody in the SEC, nobody in the nation. They're an afterthought this year, right?
Sure.
Somebody's got to believe in you. Why not you?
Right.
And why not you tell everybody we're believing in ourselves? I got no problem with it. All right, football in the 1 o'clock hour, sponsored by Atlantic Windows and Doors. Dabo Swinney. Is he doing impressions?
Apparently.
We're going to get to that coming up, and more Gamecock player sound on the halftime show.
107.5 The Game.
In Columbia.
100.5 The Game.
In Florence.
100.3 The Game.
In Myrtle Beach. The Game Network. Ever sit in this meeting?
What would you say you do here?
I have people skills. I am good at dealing with people. Can't you understand that?
Think to yourself, man, I'd rather be listening to the game.
You're listening to Bill Gunner, Preston Thorne, Jen Jensen. It's the early game.
Well, just go to iTunes or Google Play and download our app on all of your devices, and you'll never be without the game again. 107.5 The Game. Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios.
Take up to $20,000 off new Silverados.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. Together, let's drive.
Owners Gene and Debbie Royer of All American Heating and Air.
I think that's the biggest mistake ever of putting a technician on commission. My technician has no reason to overcharge. We don't do that.
You can trust All American.
When your heating and air breaks down, it's an emergency to you. It's an emergency to us also.
All American's technicians are NATE certified.
Let our family help your family. We're All American.
All American Heating and Air.
AllAmericanHeatingandAir.com.
Shepherd's Glass has provided commercial, residential, and auto glass installation, repair, and replacement to Columbia for over 50 years. Large retail storefronts, auto, custom shower enclosures, and mirrors for that remodeling or new construction project. Visit shepherdsglass.com to see and learn more. Now with 2 locations on Platte Springs Road in West Columbia and Chapin at 855 Chapin Road. shepherdsglass.com.
Shepherd's Glass. Shepherd's Glass, a true reflection of quality.
Hi, I'm Dondi Mercer-Plank, and I am excited to represent the 35-year McDaniels Auto Group as a longtime customer. Whether it is your next sporty Volkswagen, a go anywhere you want Subaru, a dream-making Porsche, that perfect Ford you've always wanted, or the performance of Acura, great selection and an unmatched level of excellence. That, my friends, is the McDaniels difference.
Visit McDanielsAutoGroup.com.
Did you know you could use your body's own healing properties to revitalize your achy joints? I didn't. Well, guess what? The good folks at QC Kinetics can help you with real lasting pain relief. Hey, it's Preston Thorne, and I'm talking about regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics has new medicine, and I tell you what, they didn't have this way back in the days when I used to play. Go all the way back to 2004. If you had a torn ACL, that was it. But now the good folks at QC Kinetics can give you solid new advice and help you enhance your joints, improve mobility, and get back to doing the stuff you love. I wish I would have had this way back then. You can enhance your joints and improve mobility and get back to doing the stuff you love, whatever that is, playing ball, playing with your kids, walking, or just getting out of a chair. Without pain and without drugs, no surgery, and especially no downtime. Call them up for a consultation. It's totally free. Give them a call at 803-281-6860. That's 803-281-6860.
What you're talking about. Sponsored by Love Chevy, where back to cool means award-winning savings. I-26 at Harbison and at lovechevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Do you like to play golf?
Are you passionate about helping others?
Then join us at our 16th annual Oliver Gospels Charity Classic,
where all proceeds support the care of men, women, and children at Oliver Gospel and Toby's Place.
Assemble your team and help us golf for good on October 7th at Fort Jackson Golf Club.
Go online to olivergospel.org/golf tournament to sponsor or sign up today for the tournament.
Back for a limited time only, it's Firehouse Subs Barbecue Cuban Sub featuring slow smoked pulled pork, honey ham, melted Swiss, golden mustard barbecue sauce, chipotle slaw, and spicy pickle chips, all on a toasted sub roll. It's Southern roots with a Cuban twist. Try the Barbecue Cuban Sub at Firehouse Subs today. They make their subs differently because their subs can make a difference every day. At Firehouse Subs, a portion of every purchase helps provide much-needed life-saving equipment to first responders across the country. Firehouse Subs. Enjoy more subs, save more lives.
Hit us up on the Firehouse Subs text line, 803-404-6100.
Your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia, 107.5 The Game. Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach and 100.5 The Game in Florence. The Halftime Show, sponsored by the Men's Clinic of South Carolina, on your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia, 107.5 The Game.
Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach.
And 100.5 The Game in Florence. And the 107.5 The Game app.
Football, the 1 o'clock hour, sponsored by Atlantic Windows and Doors. Here on The Game, Terry Ford, Tyler Head, Halftime Show. Thanks for hanging with us. We have tickets to give away. Got Hootie and the Blowfish tickets. We've got Gamecock football tickets for the opener at Williams-Brice against Old Dominion. Be listening for your chance to win here on The Game. Also, Gamecocks game day Saturday. We get everything started at 11 a.m. here in Columbia at 107.5 with our Gamecocks Game Day local pregame show. 1 o'clock, the network jumps in Columbia and in Myrtle Beach at 100.3 The Game. And it goes from pregame to kickoff at 4:15. That's what's going on here Saturday here on The Game. All righty. Football, the 1 o'clock hour, sponsored by Atlantic Windows and Doors. Let's spin it off here, get a little Nick Emanwari. Nick talking about, and this is cut 32, Tyler. Nick talking about building off of last year's success in November when the Gamecock defense really stepped it up a notch once they switched to that 3-3-5, kind of changed some coverage schemes in the back end, and really took off.
Man, as a defense, I think we feel pretty good. You know, going back to last year, we were kind of up and down, and those last 4 games, we finished out strong. We held a couple teams to no touchdowns and just finished out strong last year. So this year, we're trying to start with that same energy we ended on last year and just keep it going. And as a team, just keep building and stuff. And, that's pretty much it.
Success is a great thing. And we talk about this all the time on the show. If you go on the field and do it, doesn't matter who the opponent was. You just feel good when you walked off the field because you won and you played well. And now you're saying, I can do that again against anybody. That's just how you feel. Whether that's true or not doesn't matter. It's neither here nor there. What matters is you now believe you can be successful doing this because you just did. And yeah, you might have did it against, a team that wasn't very good, but it doesn't matter because you played well. And playing well is the thing. You come out of November of last year really turning it up on D. So you feel like you can continue doing that in 2024. And that's what we talked about, that mindset. Debo Williams talking about donuts, a couple defensive players talking about being an historic defense. All that comes off of the confidence of what you did in November. So that is Nick Amenwori talking about the defense. What I thought was interesting, too, from Nick, let's talk about Lenora Sellers here in a minute. And the defensive players have been asked about dealing with Sellers and, tackling Sellers in practice. And because there were days you could tackle the quarterback and days you couldn't, right? So let's get cut 31, Tyler. Nick Amenwori talking about how do you tackle Lenora Sellers. He's a big guy.
Man, he got some strong legs. I think he probably has one of the highest squats on our team. So you just got to come with everything you got. In high school, we kind of went back and forth. I'm a bigger dude, so it wasn't too crazy. But he'll get you if he can run you over.
I always love those dudes in the gym, because the weight room area of the gym, who are squatting 5 bills. I love those guys.
Right.
It's hilarious. And they're the guys that, not all of them, but some of them are covered in the powder. And they got.
They just came off of the, the Olympic. Olympic plane.
Yeah, they look like they came off the stage.
This is LA Fitness, right?
It's like you're sitting there. You're in a.
They had the leotard. They got the shoes, the belt, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, and they got the chain. My favorite's the chain. And so they're sitting there and they're grunting. And when you squat it, and then you hear them racking it back up, and you look over and you're like, every plate in the gym is on that guy's bar.
Funny story about lifting weights. Back when I was in high school, I had weightlifting class. I was a sophomore. Had weightlifting class with our catcher on the baseball team, who was a senior. He'd come over from Parkview, and Parkview was a big-time baseball and football program in the state of Georgia. And I remember I don't remember what I squatted. It was a pretty good number. It was during the weight training class. It was the highest I'd ever squatted before. I was feeling good. I'd racked my weight. I immediately turn around. He deadlifts. No, he power cleans it. Right behind me. He power cleaned exactly what I just squatted. And I was like, well, I guess it's not that impressive anymore now, is it?
You just go like this.
I felt good for about 2 seconds.
You know what's worse? They take it off the bar after you squat it and they curl it.
Yeah. I was like,
it's like, thanks, dude.
Yeah, thanks,
appreciate it.
Thanks, Ryan. Appreciate that.
Yeah,
bud.
thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for stealing my weightlifting soul. Oh yeah, or the other one. It's like you squat it and you feel good. You're on the bench and you feel good. Excuse me, do you mind if I work in with you? I like to put some more weight on there if it's okay. Yeah, thanks, Grandma.
Sure,
feel
absolutely.
Good. That's why I never work out with others, because there's nothing worse. Because look, again, I know looking at me, you're stunned. I'm not a power lifter, but you get somebody in there, and you're gonna work out with somebody. They're always putting more plates on. Then you got to take them off for you and put them on for them.
You're wiry.
Yeah, that's it.
Nigel Gruff would say.
That's a nice way to put it. But yeah, whenever I'd work out with dudes, I do my thing, and then they go, yeah, man, help me put some more weight on it.
It's like, oh, that was my max. That's my warm up.
That's right. He's like, you go on the bench and you're benching it like normal, and then all of a sudden he's close gripping it, and you're like, you suck. I hate you. I hate you.
But getting back to Nicky Moore's point. Sellers is,
he's solid.
He's a unit. He is not.
He's not wiry.
Going to be easy to bring down.
He's
by
not
any
wiry.
Means. No, he's not.
He's a thick guy and he's strong. And so again, when you are going to be using his legs as a weapon, and the RPO game is a weapon where the quarterback the RPO the RPO is at its best when your quarterback is an actual threat to run the ball. I mean, we'll see some RPOs with teams and they run them, and there's reasons to do it because any trickeration helps you. Like play action. There are studies, if you look at play action passing, it's the best pass in football. And everybody always says, well, you got to have a good run game to set up your play action. Well, your play action is better when you got a real run game. But play action works to a certain point whether your run game's good or not, because if you've ever played linebacker or ever played in the second level of a defense, the minute the offense goes to look like they're running the football, your first instinct is to go forward. And sometimes all you need, if you're a passing offense, is to have guys take a step forward. So play action works whether you have a great run game or not. It just works better if your run game is excellent. Same thing, this RPO stuff. There are things in RPO that work if your quarterback can't run just because the way it's structured. But if you got a running back who can actually do damage with his legs in these RPO situations, now you become even more dangerous. So now you got Lenore Sellers, who he's got something going on if he tucks it. Because he can pick up big chunks of yardage. He's moving faster than you think. And by the way, try to tackle the guy who's squatting 1 billion pounds.
That's right. Good luck.
So this is going to be interesting to watch how much different this offense is going to be in 2024 compared to what it was in 2023. Because, again, you had a quarterback who had an NFL arm, and you built an offense around the NFL arm of your quarterback.
And you had an eventual first-round wide receiver.
And your hope was you were going to have 2 wide receivers that were going to go the first 2 days in the draft.
Right.
So, all right, we'll continue on football in the 1 o'clock hour. We got to get this in next. I haven't heard it.
Oh, you haven't?
I haven't heard Dabo's Spurrier impression yet. So we'll get to that. And also, we're talking about Lenore Sellers. Aaron Murray, who'll be doing the game.
That's right.
For the SEC Network, or at Network Plus. Which one is it?
It's Network.
Is it Network?
Yep. SEC
Network on Saturday, the Old Dominion, South Carolina game. Aaron Murray, he can kind of relate to Lenore Sellers. We're going to get to that coming up, too. So Dabo and Aaron Murray. That's next. Football in the 1 o'clock hour, sponsored by Atlantic Windows and Doors on the Game.
The Game Network in Columbia.
107.5 The Game.
In Florence.
100.5 The Game.
In Myrtle Beach.
100.3 The Game.
Carolina Calls
with head coach Shane Beamer.
Thanks to everyone for coming out. What an awesome crowd on a Thursday night.
This Thursday at 6 p.m. on The Game.
Honey, look, the hookers. They've moved off the highway and now they're all over the parking lot.
What are all those Schroeder's towing trucks doing in that parking lot, though?
Must be towing all those unauthorized cars parked in the lot. Good thing the business owner called Schroeder's Towing to keep their parking lot clear for just their customers. Didn't those cars see the free signage that Schroeder's provides to business owners to deter unauthorized parking?
I guess not.
Schroeder's Towing, the best and fastest hookers in town.
Summer was fun. Now the kids are back in school, and you finally got some time to get your house back in order. It's time to get your home fresh and clean for the fall. Call Zerorez Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning today and mention me, Bill Gunner, 107.5 The Game, to get a free hallway with 3 rooms of carpet for only $129. Book online at ZerorezColumbia.com. Zerorez, spell it backwards or forwards, it's the right way to clean.
Start making your plans to catch a game at Williams-Brice Stadium this fall. Single game tickets for the 2024 Gamecock football season are on sale now. For more information, visit GamecocksOnline.com/2024. Whatever the game, whoever you're with, just catch a game.
Hi, Jen here. Did you know you could earn up to 4.59% annual percentage yield with All South Federal Credit Union's premium checking account? That's 30 times more than the national average interest checking rate, which means more money in your bank account each month. Plus, they have 23 locations right here in the Midlands. Open an account online at allsouth.org or visit an All South location today to start earning more. All South is federally insured by the NCUA.
Bill Gunner for Old Tommy Meat Market. What better way to spend a great night with your family than with some great cuts of meat from Old Tommy Meat Market? You can grill out, whether it's your family, your friends. Old Tommy Meat Market has plenty of Traeger grills in stock. Plenty of pellets, rubs, sauces, and accessories too. Come on by Old Tommy Meat Market in Lexington today to take a good look at the many sizes of Traeger grills. Old Tommy Meat Market and Traeger grills, a perfect combination.
Old Tommy Meat Market, quality selection, a cut above the rest.
the children's music and dance teacher who couldn't cha-cha.
I was always on my feet. It was just so painful.
Elisa couldn't let her students down, so she stepped up and went to the Good Feet store for personally fitted arch supports.
I would work an entire day, and my feet didn't hurt at the end of the day. That was when I knew, wow, these are different.
But the really good part?
It's good to be dancing together again.
Stop by or schedule your free fitting at goodfeet.com.
The Good Feet store. Call 1-800-NEW-FEET or visit goodfeet.com.
Bill Gunner for my great friends Rock and Daniel Lucas at Charwood Golf Club. Hey, the fall, better weather, exciting days are right ahead of us, and getting out to Charwood Golf Club is something my son Austin and I love doing because it's a relaxed, fun environment where you can go out, play music, enjoy an afternoon outdoors, and enjoy the excellent layout that is Charwood Golf Club. Line up your tee time today. 803-755-2000. Again, that's 803-755-2000. Call Charwood Golf Club today.
Have a passion for serving children and families? Apply to become a child welfare case manager at dss.sc.gov. This message is sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Social Services.
There's never been a more affordable way to get on the water than during the inventory clearance sale at Mid-Carolina Marine. Get the boat of your dreams and cruise away with unbeatable savings on center consoles, bay boats, pontoons, deck boats, and more. Special rock bottom pricing on remaining Stingray boats and Berkshire pontoons. Create lifelong memories with these affordable boats, perfectly designed for family fun and excitement. Make this the year you finally get on the water. 718 Sunset Boulevard in West Columbia, or visit midcarolinamarine.com.
What you're talking about. Sponsored by Love Chevy, where the winning is only beginning. South Carolina's #1 volume Chevy dealer. I-26 at Harbison and at lovechevy.com. Together, let's drive. What you're talking about.
Sponsored by Love Chevrolet.
On the Game Network.
Oh, what we're talking about, obviously, is Gamecock football getting ready for the opener Saturday. Williams-Brice, 4:15 versus Old Dominion. Of course, you can hear it here on the Game in Columbia, and also at 100.3, the Game in Myrtle Beach. All right, Aaron Murray, we've been discussing Lenore Sellers on the show. Just one thing that we're impressed with is just the demeanor, very even-keel guy.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, I think your best guys never get too high, never get too low, especially your leaders. You always want dudes who are composed.
Right.
They're the ones that are consistently, I think, better when it's all said and done. Here's Aaron Murray talking about Lenore Sellers and building confidence in his first start. Is this where Aaron Murray tells his story?
Yeah, so Aaron Murray was a redshirt freshman when he first started at Georgia back in 2010. They played Louisiana Lafayette in their first game of the season, had to go on the road to South Carolina in week number 2, and there's a lot of comparisons with what Lenore Sellers is going to be facing this weekend.
The more that you can build confidence early on in the year, feel good about yourself, especially with a young quarterback, first-year starting quarterback in Lenore Sellers. I think, I go back to my time playing at Georgia and just remembering my redshirt freshman season. And we had an opportunity to start off hot, nice win versus a non-con game, a group of 5 team. But then after that, I remember the next week we went on the road to South Carolina and lost that game. And I felt confident heading into the game because I got one game under my belt, but it's still every single week you're going to progress. I know they have Kentucky on the road the following week and then LSU at home after that. So you want to start getting some confidence with the young quarterback. And I think there's a great opportunity for that. And the offensive line, you're hoping it improves. You're hoping some of those transfer guys at the receiving position, at the running back position, have opportunity to get their feet wet with a brand new uniform on. So it's a good warm-up game. If I'm South Carolina with Sellers and with some of the newness on both sides of the football, mostly the offense, I'm happy, a little bit happy it's against an Old Dominion team that you can hopefully get some of those kinks knocked out before SEC ball starts.
Yeah, so, again, you want to go out Saturday, come away from it feeling good about yourself, getting ready to go on the road to Lexington, a game that, again, is winnable,
sure,
but will not be easy. And you want to carry some confidence with you, and you want to do some good things this Saturday. So then you roll into that first SEC game feeling good. Makes total sense. So, again, we will see what happens on Saturday. We talked about the expectations and things of that nature. But what do you think, about 7:30? Saturday evening?
Should be about the end of the game.
We'll have a better idea of at least after 1 week where we're at.
And like you mentioned there, it's interesting how South Carolina's schedule sets up. And I phrased it this way this morning. It's almost kind of like in tiers, right? You have game number 1, which is just the first game against an easier opponent. Again, not overlooking them, but a game that you should be able to win if you do everything you're supposed to do. All right, get that out of the way. Then you have your first road game, also a conference game.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, Kentucky's not the most hostile place in the world, but a road game's a road game regardless, and the fans going to be juiced up for what they expect that team to be this year. Then you get a big brand in LSU, team that's won national championships and just put a bunch of guys in the NFL once again last year coming into your house. So you kind of get a mix of everything in those first 3 weeks that hopefully, and you don't even have to win all 3 of those games. We'd love to, but even if you lost to an LSU, hopefully that sets you up well for the remainder of this daunting schedule, going to Alabama, going to Oklahoma, taking on Missouri, Clemson, all these teams that you're going to have to face later on in the year.
You can go 2-1 in your first 3.
I think everybody would be okay with that.
Everybody be okay with that. And if you play well, you don't have to light up the world, but if you play well in your first 3 as the quarterback and South Carolina kicks out that first 3 at 2-1, you feel like you're in a good spot moving forward.
Sure.
All right, as we do football in the 1 o'clock hour, sponsored by Atlantic Windows and Doors. I have not heard this yet.
Oh, boy.
Dabo Swinney doing his Steve Spurrier impression.
I remember, I think I told y'all, Coach Spurrier called me one time. We both got beat in a matter of fact, it was the Georgia game. We played Georgia in 14, and he called me on that. And I think they played Texas A&M and just got boat raced the whole game, like all 4 quarters. And it's this classic Spurrier. Still got the voicemail, and he calls me. And he's just like, and then I call him back, and he's just like, yeah, I don't know why we schedule these games. I tell you, I just don't know. We go play that team over here down the road, get a little win, everybody's happy, get to work out some of them problems, because you know there's going to be some problems. Yeah, I don't know why we schedule these games like this right out of the gate, and he says, yeah, but hey, look, I just calling you. Yeah, it looked like y'all got your ass kicked for 1 quarter. We got ours kicked for 4 quarters, but hey, just wanted to tell you, hey, just keep your head up. A long season ahead. We'll keep moving. Classic Spurrier.
That was actually pretty good.
Wasn't bad. As much as we are entertained by having some fun with Dabo, that actually wasn't bad.
That was pretty good. I can only envision Spurrier was calling him from a flip phone.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Dabo's iPhone rings and you have Spurrier on a $20 Walmart phone or something like that.
I think Spurrier called from the flip phone to Dabo's landline and went to Dabo's answering machine that is hooked up to the wall and to the landline.
Yeah, that's a pretty good point. These new cell phones is just it's a fad. It's going to die off soon.
Yeah, remember Dabo didn't want any of this mess. Dabo wants to keep it real.
Yeah, call me on my landline.
Dabo, Hey, Dabo, why do you have a payphone in your living room? What's up with that?
There was nothing wrong with payphones. Don't know why we got rid of them.
That's right. You know how much money I've made on this payphone? My kid went to this birthday party when he was little. And this family, and we didn't know any of this, but this family, he's invited to a birthday party, so we show up. And it wasn't, and this family had, a big house.
Yeah.
And the birthday party was in the basement.
Okay.
Well, it wasn't a basement. You know what it was?
What was it?
An English pub.
Oh.
The basement was made into an English pub.
That's cool.
Very cool. And they had payphone booths in the basement of the English pub in their house.
Do they work?
Yes. You could call, let's say you needed a ride.
Wow.
You'd use and they had little tokens to put in it.
That's awesome.
It was pretty cool. So obviously they weren't poor. They weren't poor.
Sounds like you're rubbing shoulders with the right people.
Oh, trust me, I rub no shoulders with any of the right people.
They're like, oh, they came.
Oh, oh my God, the Baltimore people. The Baltimore people are here, love.
The Fords have arrived.
Quick, put away all of the cutlery.
We gave the kid an invitation because we were trying to be nice. We didn't think they were going to show up.
We gave them to the whole class. I thought you gave them different directions.
I told you not to give it to that one kid. They're probably going to steal half our stuff, right?
Yeah, make sure everything's glued down. They'll steal the payphone.
That Terry is eyeing my nice face. He's probably just going to try and sell it on eBay.
I'm shaking the couches for change These guys are loaded. They got to have money in the couches. Oh, God. But, yeah, English pub in the basement, and they actually had payphones you could use to call out. It was pretty cool.
Well, Dabo has the means to do just that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if he desired to have a payphone, he could, but that's a pretty good Spurrier impression.
Let's give Dabo his props. That was solid Spurrier
and
right
like,
there.
We all see him saying that, right?
Oh, sure. You could absolutely hear Spurrier saying that. Well, we got our ass kicked for 4 quarters. You only got yours kicked for 1, and we got kicked for 4.
Yeah, keep your head up.
Yes, keep your head up. All right, football, the 1 o'clock hour, sponsored by Atlantic Windows and Doors. Now, tomorrow, once again, Tyler and Chris and Wes, Gamecock Central taking over Gold Line Framing. And also, on Friday, we're taking over Columbia Craft at 3 o'clock with Jay and Elijah in the Vista on Green. And then from 6 a.m. to noon, we're taking over Darlington with the early game and with the extra point with Tyler. So all that's coming up. Hitting the road. We are here on the game in Columbia, Florence, and Myrtle Beach. You know what? I smell ticket time, Tyler.
Okay, now
let's do it.
Which tickets are we giving away this
time?
Let's
do football.
Football, once again? All right,
let's do some football.
To hit our handy-dandy sounder.
Run to your phone and start dialing 803-404-6100. It's time to give away some Gamecocks football tickets.
Touchdown, Carolina.
Sponsored by Carolina Honda Powerhouse, your local Honda motorcycle, ATV, and side-by-side superstore. Online at carolinahonda.com.
All right, caller number 8. We'll get a pair of tickets to go check out South Carolina Old Dominion. Caller number 8, 803-404-6100. Good luck. All right, we'll get back in here as we continue football in the 1 o'clock hour with our text of the hour, our Firehouse Sub text of the hour at 803-404-6100. Halftime show. Terry Ford, Tyler Head on the game.
From the Midlands to the PD to the beach. The Game Network. Sips and Sounds, the only craft beer, wine, and spirits tasting event held indoors under the cool AC. No rain, no heat, no worries. Unlimited sampling of over 40 brands of local and national craft beers, wine, seltzers, and spirits. Live performances by Ken and Drew of Sister Hazel, Dazer, and the Donovan Twins. Saturday, September 28th. Get your unlimited tasting wristbands now at sipsandsoundscola.com.
This is Andrew Bogish with a Sports Minute sponsored by Wrangler. It's Wrangler season out there. Open roads, endless horizons. Shop Wrangler.com for new denim styles. The Kansas City Royals share the AL Central lead in late August, the season after losing 106 games. No team has ever won a division after losing 100 games, and the Royals could also post the largest win improvement in the divisional era. I'm Andrew Bogish.
It's Wrangler season out there. Warmer days, cooler nights. Open roads, endless horizons. And you need to be ready in jeans made for the unpredictable. Wrangler, for the ride of life. Shop our newest styles today at Wrangler.com.
Whether you're tinkering in your garage or tackling big projects, if you know the value of working with your hands, you know Harbor Freight. And you can be confident knowing that at Harbor Freight, you can get quality tools at prices that work just as hard as you do. Because the only thing more satisfying than a job well done is a job well done, well under budget. Whatever you do, do it for less at Harbor Freight.
It's Wrangler season out there. Warmer days, cooler nights. Open roads, endless horizons. And you need to be ready in jeans made for the unpredictable. Wrangler, for the ride of life. Shop our newest styles today at Wrangler.com.
Hi, I'm Dondi Mercer-Plank, and I am excited to represent the 35-year McDaniels Auto Group as a longtime customer. Whether it is your next sporty Volkswagen, a go-anywhere-you-want Subaru, a dream-making Porsche, that perfect Ford you've always wanted, or the performance of Acura, great selection and an unmatched level of excellence. That, my friends, is the McDaniels difference.
Visit McDanielsAutoGroup.com.
Do you have sagging, soft, or bouncy floors in your home?
Well, this could be a sign of rotten wood caused by moisture in your crawl space. Damaged wood in your crawl space can affect your home's foundation, and that can affect your home's value, and nobody wants that. Say goodbye to sagging floors and hello to a stable foundation. Contact Canty today for your free inspection at 803-424-8380 or visit cantycanfixit.com.
Hey guys, Jay Phillips for the Men's Clinic. Not feeling like yourself as you get a little older? You're wondering why? Don't wait for it to change or go away. Instead, see Dr. Dan Bognight and his team at the Men's Clinic. You'll have a one-on-one consultation that will get to the root of the issue and get you back to feeling like you used to. There's no such thing as a one-size-fits-all treatment at the Men's Clinic. Get a free consultation. Schedule one at 803-875-MENS and learn more online at themensclinicsc.com.
Enjoy Gamecock Football Saturday at Columbia Craft Brewing Company on Green Street. Whether the game is home or away, Columbia Craft can be your tailgate headquarters. Enjoy a tasty treat from their lineup of local food trucks with any of Columbia Craft brews. Locally owned and operated, the enthusiasm Columbia Craft drinkers have for game days is awesome. Be there each Saturday to experience a new kind of tailgating. Columbia Craft is proudly distributed throughout the Midlands by KW Beverage. To try some of the brews handcrafted in Columbia, go to kwbeverage.com and hit the product hunter to find locations.
The Halftime Show, sponsored by the Men's Clinic of South Carolina.
It's time for Text of the Hour on the Firehouse Subs text line on the Halftime Show.
On your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia, 107.5 The Game.
Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach.
And 100.5 The Game in Florence.
And the 107.5 The Game app.
Time to get our Firehouse Sub Text hour. We did get our winner for the Gamecock football tickets, right?
Yes. So,
congratulations.
Yes, another winner. Got still have the Hootie and Blowfish tickets. That'll be
That's coming up at 2:15-ish.
Okay, we can do that.
2:10-ish. We're going to do something. How well do you know Hootie?
Ooh, I like this.
Yeah, so that's coming up. About 20 minutes. How well do you know Hootie?
So
it'll be a little multiple choice. And whoever gets the answer first will win the tickets.
You might learn something.
I did. I was like, well, I didn't know that. I didn't know that either. So that's coming up here on the game. All right, what do we got there on the Firehouse Sub Text? The hour 803-404-6100.
Robert weighs in and says, "What will the first play from scrimmage be? A pass to the sideline for no gain, or a run up the middle for no gain?" Not a lot of confidence from Robert. I get it, though. I get it.
Can we go to break and start over now? That's fantastic. Now, was Robert doing that because he was having fun and joking? Was Robert being, a smart guy? Or was Robert truly saying, look, can I be real? Coming off of that 5-7, the world hasn't been fantastic since ball coach left. I'm a little beaten down in some ways. So is that more of a psyche text, a fun text, or a smart aleck text?
I just think it is a portion of the fan base that's very realistic. You know what I mean? And not saying that they're going to be right necessarily, but there are a lot of people that until you prove otherwise are going to believe what you were from the prior season, saying, okay, last year we couldn't run the ball. This year, brought in some transfer portal offensive linemen. All right, let's see them open up some holes before I believe they can do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, recency bias is always a thing, right?
Right.
For an example, because Texas went to the college football playoff last year and Oklahoma came up short, everybody thinks Texas is so much a better program than Oklahoma.
Which really bothers the people in Norman, as
drive
it should.
Them crazy, and it should drive them crazy. Or this, and again, not to delve too far off the road of South Carolina, but a couple years ago, Philadelphia Eagles went to a Super Bowl, and Jalen Hurts was looked at as one of the best quarterbacks in the league.
Yep.
Now, the Eagles, after starting 10-1, hit the skids in the latter portions of the season in 2023, and then got mashed in a playoff game by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yep.
Now Jalen Hurts is being voted as the most overrated quarterback in the NFL. And we've cracked the code on Jalen Hurts. And all you do is zero blitz Jalen Hurts. And now all of a sudden Jalen Hurts is ick. Recency bias is a thing. And so to the point you're making, this team was 5-7 last year. It was disappointing to everyone. And now everybody's carrying that 5-7 vibe and feel into the start of this year.
Yep.
I understand it too. Remember, let's rewind to the beginning of last year. Coming off an 8-win season, trip to the Gator Bowl, Rattler's back, Juice is back. You're feeling pretty good about a lot of things, and then you go 5-7.
Definitely.
So, to your point, there are folks who realistically go, look, when 5-7 last year, schedule's still tough. Question mark with a young quarterback, offensive line couldn't block anybody last year. I'm not feeling it. I get it. I get it too.
And I think there's a lot of people out there that don't want to get their hopes up because, and we all do that as fans. We all believe that, hey, the next year it's a new beginning, bright future ahead, all that kind of stuff. And then, hey, you get 3 weeks in the season, nothing's changed, and then you're right back in the same spot last year. So I think a lot of people like to approach it as like, well, I'll believe it when I see it type thing. And until you show me that you're better, I'm not going to believe it.
Or if you get your hopes up, you're only setting yourself up for what?
Failure.
And disappointment.
Yes.
So I get it. But Richard, what a text. By the way, for the record, run up the middle for no gain.
Seemed to be the MO last year.
If you made me take one of the two, if Richard's going, no, seriously, answer the question, I would say run up the middle for no gain. That sound fair?
I think so.
Yeah. We always appreciate the text. Firehouse Subtext, the hour, 803-404-6100. By the way, we're also doing our Twitter polls now. We're kicking those babies back up. Now the football season is upon us. Yesterday, we finished up. The winner of yesterday's, out of the 4 offensive transfers that could make an impact, far and away, Jared Brown won. I shouldn't say far and away. It was Jared Brown did win. And we used 2 wide receivers, 2 offensive linemen, because, again, we're going by the transfer portal guys on each side of the ball. We had one guy go, what'd you put offensive linemen in there for? Well, because did you see last year?
Mm-hmm.
Typically, you wouldn't be sitting here talking about offensive linemen, but after last year, they are intriguing. They can be difference makers for this football team. This one on the defensive side of the ball. Which defensive transfer are you most intrigued with? Kyle Kennard, the edge pass rusher from Georgia Tech. Monkel Goodwine, transfer from Alabama, defensive lineman interior. Demetrius Knight, linebacker. DeAndre Jules, defensive lineman. Far and away, Kyle Kennard at 69%. Kyle Kennard leading the way. And we've been doing this for a little bit over 3 hours, 802 views, and so far we have 58 votes. We thank you, like always, for participating or checking out the old Twitter X poll. Kyle Kennard, that doesn't surprise me.
Not at all.
Jared Brown didn't surprise me yesterday either.
No, he was one of the few guys that was at the top of the wide receiver list.
Mm-hmm. And Kyle Kennard, a guy with 7 sacks last year at Georgia Tech.
Yep.
And the edge at South Carolina needs someone who can consistently put heat on folks. All right, so we'll come back in here. What's trending at 2, sponsored by Traditions Fine Jewelry and Gamecock Traditions. We're going to re-rack. Who's our Ole Miss fella?
Neil McCready from Rebel Grove coming up at 2:15.
All right, and Hootie tickets between now and 2:15 as well here on the game.
.1075 The Game. Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios.
Take up to $20,000 off new Silverados.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. Together, let's drive.
Get ready to smile because Herndon Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy dealer, is offering an amazing deal. This month, you could drive home in a brand new Silverado 2500 with financing as low as 5.9% for up to 84 months. Head over to HerndonChevy.com today and drive home in the truck of your dreams. Together, let's drive.
Herndon Chevrolet, Herndon makes you wanna smile, smile.
Call 803-510-5447 for complete
Paul Grant here, Columbia's Secret for Weight Loss. We are celebrating our 1-year anniversary. We are continuing our mission to help you realize the joy and satisfaction of achieving healthy weight loss permanently. Now is the time for you and your family to get on the road to better health.
Columbia's Secret for Weight Loss is celebrating their 1-year anniversary in the Midlands. I'm Elijah Campbell, and as someone who put off getting healthy for way too long, I can tell you right now that now is the best time to begin your transformation. And for a limited time, Columbia's Secret for Weight Loss is offering a buy one, get one family and friends fat loss special, so you can be able to make this weight loss journey with a close friend or family member. Just go ahead, give them a call, 803-824-4210.
We teach your body to burn fat the way you're supposed to. Learn how to lose up to 1 pound of fat per day. Not only can you lose your weight and hit your goal, but now you have the real potential to keep it off permanently. To schedule your free consultation, visit ColumbiaSecretForWeightLoss.com. That's ColumbiaSecretForWeightLoss.com.
The Gamecock Go Pass is back. For only $20 a month, you'll receive access to all non-conference football games, most men's and women's basketball and baseball games, and all softball, soccer, and volleyball games. To learn more about the Gamecock Go Pass, visit thegamecockclub.com/go.
Powered by Integrated Media, The Game TV.
Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass, a true reflection of quality.
The Game TV.
Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass.
From lazy days and spontaneous adventures to revving up and reconnecting, you can almost feel the excitement building, the road ahead, and a whole new season of possibilities. It's back to cool time right now at Love Chevy with amazing savings on a lot chock full of brand new Tahoes, Suburbans, and the totally redesigned Chevy Traverse. A bolder exterior design, turbocharged V6, best-in-class cargo area, plenty of space for the team and the tailgate. Speaking of football, every day is game day at Love Chevy, where it's all about the fundamentals, honesty, integrity, and straight talk. No ridiculous add-on stickers like the other guys. And who could forget about Love Chevy's $1,000 low price guarantee? Get back to cool today at South Carolina's #1 volume Chevy dealer, I-26 at Harbison, and at lovechevy.com. Together, let's drive.
That's the power of love. Love Chevy.
After being almost $500,000 in tax debt, I was listening to the radio one day and heard a ad for John Ecton Law Firm. So I gave him a call and met with him, and he gave me the confidence to trust him after the reason behind my tax problems anyways was trusting someone I probably should have never trusted. He did everything he said he was going to do and then some. His staff at the office were great, very knowledgeable. With John's help, I have no tax debt now, and I was able to have a family that otherwise I would have never been able to have.
It's great to know we have changed people's lives for the better. Hi, this is local attorney John Ecton with the Ecton Law Firm. For over a decade, our office has been dedicated to helping hardworking individuals and businesses solve tax problems for good. So if you have years of unfiled tax returns or are facing IRS wage levies, bank levies, or tax liens, call our office today at 771-9800 or go to EctonLawFirm.com. That's ECTON lawfirm.com. Let's get your tax problem solved for good. Call today. You'll be glad you did.
WNKT FM Eastover, Columbia.
The home of the national champion Gamecocks women's basketball team. Congrats, y'all.
A Cumulus media station.
What's trending at 2?
Sponsored by Traditions Fine Jewelry and Gamecock Traditions.
2 locations in Lexington and Sandhills. On the Halftime Show, your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia. 107.5 The Game. Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach and 100.5 The Game in Florence.
Halftime show, Terry Ford, Tyler Head. What's trending at 2, sponsored by Traditions Fine Jewelry and Gamecock Traditions. Of course, what's been trending, we've been talking Gamecock football, getting ready for South Carolina Old Dominion. We've been firing up some sound. Shane Beamer, we're going to hear from him in just a minute. How about Old Dominion coach? Our boy, Coach Rain.
He's responding to some controversy. And,
yes, he is.
I don't think his response is very good.
We're going to get to that in just a second. Let's circle back over to Shane Beamer. If you missed it yesterday, Shane gave some interesting insights on Old Dominion. Talking about, first of all, in case you missed it, Old Dominion as a spoiler-type program, a team you can't take lightly, a team you've got to prepare for and be serious in your preparation. Because, well, Old Dominion, that 6-7 record can be deceiving. That's what, cut 16, Tyler? Here's Shane on Old Dominion.
Yeah, I think it's not just them. It's that entire – there's so much parity today in college football, and it really is. I mean, you think about teams nowadays that because of COVID, you had a lot of guys that got lost in the shuffle of recruiting and maybe didn't get recruited their senior year of high school like they would have if there hadn't been COVID. Torricelli Simpkins is a great example of that. He is an SEC football player, and nothing against North Carolina Central, but he didn't have a senior season, I don't think, and if he did, the coaches weren't able to go out on the road recruiting. So I think there's more parity than ever nowadays because of it. I mean, we had them this morning in our team meeting. We had all of the players on our team that transferred here from a non-Power 4 school. I had them stand up, and when you look around the room, there's some dudes on our team that are, a lot of them will be playing a lot of snaps for us on Saturday. So I just think it's more parity than ever in college football. You look at the Sun Belt Conference specifically, and I meant that, whether it be I'm not going to name names because then every fan base will be after me that Beamer's calling out the Vols, which I'm not doing. But you've got a lot of teams in the SEC and ACC and Big 12 that have lost to teams from the Sun Belt as well. Great respect for Oklahoma State's program. They won 10 games last year and played for the Big 12 championship. I just said I wasn't going to call anybody out. Now I am. But South Alabama beat Oklahoma State last year convincingly, and in Stillwater as well. So we've shown, and the Sun Belt Conference has shown that you better be ready to play every single Saturday. And then to Old Dominion specifically, they're located in a great region for recruiting, so they've got really good players. To me, and for teams to quote-unquote pull upsets, you need an athletic quarterback. They got one. You need a opportunistic defense. That they have one. They've got size up front. They play a unique style that makes it difficult, particularly in the run game, to get everybody blocked and communicate to get a hat on a hat. And then you need to be able to make plays on special teams. And like I said, they've blocked the second most number of kicks in the country over the last 3 seasons. So it's a good program, very familiar with it, and have a ton of respect for the way they do things.
I mean, you know, the interesting one is you brought up the block kicks, and I agree that's a thing. When you block that many kicks over that period of time, obviously you put an emphasis in special teams in general, because you just that stuff just doesn't happen by luck and chance.
Sure.
They play a specific way. Yeah, they're trying offensively. They're Tennessee without Tennessee's talent. They want to play like Tennessee. And they do some interesting things. And people look at Coach Rain as a guy not afraid to go outside the box at Old Dominion. Now, speaking of the coach of Old Dominion, there's a tackling controversy, Tyler.
Yes, there is.
About their big-time linebacker. And, I mean, Preston's been very upfront about this in the morning, by the way. The young fella Henderson, if my mom's off the top of my head, correct?
That's correct. Jason Henderson, who was by statistics, the second leading tackler in college football.
170 tackles last year, I think it was, something like that, right?
Yes.
And Preston's like, when you got that many tackles, obviously people are tacking on tackles.
Sure.
You're not legit getting 170 tackles. But Preston gets fired up on this. It's pretty funny. So here is Coach Rain discussing the controversy around his linebacker and his linebacker's tackle numbers.
I think it was a great example of what social media is in today's world. Go on there, say something in a controversial manner, have some evidence to back it up, but ignore any evidence that would say that it was untrue. So I think that it was a perfect encapsulation of what social media is in today's, whether it's in sports, politics, music, entertainment, food, any other thing you can possibly think of. Everyone's got a really hot button opinion on something, has some evidence, and then decides to ignore all other evidence that would speak to the contrary.
First of all, I don't think he has any clue what he's referencing here. I think somebody just told him about this and he gave a statement. Because if he actually listened to what they were talking about on Split Zone Duo, there's some pretty damning evidence against him here.
Well, then that's the thing is, I was listening to the whole spiel, and I'm like, Coach, you're right in what you're saying, but let's talk about the tackling thing.
Yeah, like there's legitimate numbers that back up what this argument is, and to just say, well, they're only looking at one side of it. Like, okay, well, where's your differing statistics here? You know what I mean?
That's what I wanted to ask. Really take up for your guy, right? Step up and say, no, we keep tackle numbers. We think our tackle numbers are accurate. We're not padding tackles. If you go watch and turn on the film, you can see him legitimately making these plays. Like, for an example, I was listening to the College Football Channel on Sirius XM, driving back here on Sunday, and I'm trying to think who it was. Former LSU fullback
Jacob
Hester.
Yep.
He was taken up for Henderson. He was saying, look, I heard about this controversy on social media. I decided to go watch tape of this kid play. And Hester was like, this kid's legit. He makes plays everywhere. And like Hester was like, I'm paraphrasing, I don't know if he made 170 tackles, but I'll tell you this dude can play.
And I don't think the argument is against whether he's a good player or not, but the fact that he's the second leading tackler in FBS, those numbers are inflated.
I guess if I was Coach Rain, I would say it this way. Sort of like what Hester was saying, but be a little bit more focused on, narrow focus, because he's my guy. I'd say, look, I don't count the number of tackles my guy makes. That's not my department. But I'll tell you this, go play against him on Saturday.
Right.
And you'll see how good my guy is. That's all you got to say, right?
Yeah.
And that's it. Because, again, the coach isn't walking into the people compiling tackle numbers and say, my guy better have 15 today. I want my guy at 150 at least this year. No. What you can control is how you coach him up to impact the game, right?
Yes.
So you just say, tell you what, ask the running backs and wide receivers and tight ends that have played against my guy Henderson. They'll tell you he can play. By the way, talk to your guys after Saturday, and they'll tell you how good he can play.
Right.
I mean, that's all you got to do. That whole mumbo jumbo. Coach Rain was correct about what he was saying, but he wasn't answering the question that was posed about Henderson's tackle numbers. Right.
Right.
And that's the thing. It's like I almost feel like. You can even say this, because it sounded like there's no way Rain was prepared for the question to answer it legit. Just say this. Go, look, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm too busy coaching my football team to know about this controversy you're telling me about. All I know is this. My guy's one of the best linebackers in the country. Next.
Yeah, that would have probably sufficed.
But this thing was like, well, a guy gets one thing and ignores other things, and it happens in politics and entertainment too.
I want to know what scathing hot take on food he's seen.
Oh, there's some hot take. That hot dog thing.
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Oh, that thing, man! I've seen fist fights in bars over that one. Oh, you know what? I hate that one. Remember that? What was that? A couple of years ago, it became just ridiculous.
Oh yeah,
ridiculous.
It's the easiest nothing question you can ask.
Yeah, it's like I got nothing else. Hey, we can do Mount Rushmore today. We can do his hot dog sandwich today. We can do goat list today. Oh, we're ready to go. Let's do it, baby.
That's definitely like dead middle of the summer conversation.
Oh yeah. That hot dog is a sandwich thing, man. Once I started cooking, I was like, okay, I can't do this. I can't do this. So, Coach Rain, again, you could have given a better answer to pump up your guy than that one.
Yeah, and again, I doubt he's looked too far into it. I think he was just brief, like, hey, people think that, Jason Henderson's numbers aren't legit. Which that given his answer, I feel like that's might be how it was phrased to him. Hey, They think his numbers aren't legit, that he's not making these tackles, and that's probably where he was coming from.
But I guess this is just me. And look, let's be fair. In the context of getting your football team ready to play a game, this is such a nothing burger. It's ridiculous, right?
It is. But like, that's the thing. Like, group of 5 teams usually aren't that interesting, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
So when we find a nugget like this, it's interesting to dive into the rabbit hole of why that might be, which is why it's getting attention nationally. If, Sirius XM's talking about it.
And or if you're Coach Rain, you could have said this. I don't give a bleep about that. I give a bleep about getting ready for a football game.
Right.
You got a legit question about the football game, I'm ready to talk to you.
Right.
You could have done that. Or you could ban them like Dion.
That's another way to go.
You just start banning dudes like Dion.
I'm intrigued by tomorrow night against North Dakota State. I'll leave it at that.
Look, here's my thing with it. Is, first of all, you're never going to win that battle. I don't care who you are. Bill Belichick never is going to win that battle. Bill Parcells is never going to win that battle. Deion Sanders isn't going to win that battle. Because you know what? Eventually you do. You go away.
Yep.
And guess who's still there?
The media.
You never win. You might think you're winning. And all you're doing also by banning the columnist for the Denver Post, you know what you just did? You uplifted the profile of the columnist for the Denver Post. Nice work, Dion.
That's right.
So you banned a guy. Now you're giving a guy a bigger presence, and a guy can grow and build his brand more, and people want to see what he's going to say about you because now you're banning the guy.
Yep.
But Dion, look, I like Dion. I do. Always have. Loved him as a player. I've always liked Dion. But sometimes when you have an ego as big as some of these guys have, I'll ban him because I'm me. But all you did was help him. And you kind of made yourself look a little small. That you're letting this guy bother you.
Right.
So, and I just feel like, look, there's good and bad in everything, right?
Definitely.
There's good media, bad media, good lawyers, bad lawyers, good salesmen, bad salesmen, everything. But the purpose of the media is to ask questions, to gain information, because you know why? Fans want it. It's kind of a gateway for the fans. So you start banning people because you don't like their questions or don't like their opinions or whatever the case is. Dion was in the media business for a while. What if Dion started getting banned from NFL facilities because they didn't like his opinions on stuff?
Right.
All right, Hootie and the Blowfish tickets. How well do you know Hootie? First, this is multiple choice. Whoever calls in first with the correct answer wins a couple tickets to go see Hootie and the Blowfish Thursday night. Here's your question. Darius Rucker was invited to sing at what actor-entertainer's birthday party, 80th birthday party, iconic actor-entertainer? Was it A, Sammy Davis Jr., B, Frank Sinatra, C, Dean Martin? First one to get it right at 803-404-6100. What iconic actor-entertainer invited Darius Rucker to sing at his 80th birthday party? Was it, again, Sammy Davis Jr., Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin? 803-404-6100. First correct answer gets a pair of tickets to go see Hootie Thursday night at CLA. One more time. Was it Sammy Davis Jr., Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin? Who invited Darius Rucker to sing at their 80th birthday party? Give us a ring at 803-404-6100. First right answer wins a couple tickets to go see Hootie on Thursday night. Halftime show, What's Trending at 2, sponsored by Gamecock Traditions and Traditions Fine Jewelry on the Game.
107.5 The Game.
In Columbia.
100.5 The Game.
In Florence.
100.3 The Game.
In Myrtle Beach. The Game Network. Powered by Integrated Media. The Game TV.
Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. A true reflection of quality.
The Game TV. 107.5 The Game. Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios.
Take up to $20,000 off new Silverados.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. Together, let's drive.
Hi, I'm Dondi Mercer-Plank, and I am excited to represent the 35-year McDaniels Auto Group as a longtime customer. Whether it is your next sporty Volkswagen, a go anywhere you want Subaru, a dream-making Porsche, that perfect Ford you've always wanted, or the performance of Acura, great selection and an unmatched level of excellence. That, my friends, is the McDaniels difference.
Visit McDanielsAutoGroup.com.
Fall is just around the corner. That means phenomenal weather and getting out to your favorite golf course here in the Midlands. Charwood Golf Club, where Rock and Daniel Lucas have an incredible layout and create a fun, relaxed environment each time you head out to the course. So give them a phone call today and line up that tee time, 803-755-2000. Again, that's 803-755-2000. Go find out about one of the Midlands' hidden golf gyms. That's Charwood Golf Club. Get out there today and schedule an appointment, 803-755-2000.
This year, Roy and Dana Finley are shaking things up at AAA Heating and Air. For the next 12 months, they're telling their customers no. Get a new system purchase with no payments and no interest until 2025. And don't forget their 15-year parts and labor warranty, $1,500 old system buyback, and guaranteed financing. So do what I did. Call AAA Heating and Air for your free estimate today and tell them Jay Phillips sent you.
AAA Air when you need us. AAA Heating and Air.
The game of football is about pain. Ever since I was 5 years old, it's been all about football. It's been about running, jumping, blocking, tackling. I stopped playing at 31.
You're listening to Michael Robinson, retired pro fullback.
I thought that foot pain was going to be with me for the rest of my life. I'm so glad I met Good Feet. I'm so glad those arch supports are in my shoes.
The Good Feet Store. Call 1-800-NEW-FEET or visit goodfeet.com.
Hey, it's Chris Clark. I want to invite you to join me and Wes Mitchell on GamecockCentral.com for in-depth insider coverage of South Carolina football. New members can use promo code KICKOFF24 to get 50% off an annual subscription. That's promo code KICKOFF24 on GamecockCentral.com.
Harlan's Closet is the sweet deal of the week. Get a $100 gift certificate for just $50. Visit 1075thegame.com beginning this Friday at 9 a.m. to get your $100 gift certificate to Harlan's Closet for just $50.
Call Zerorez Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning today and mention me, Bill Gunner, at 1075 The Game to get a free hallway cleaned with 3 rooms of carpet for only $129. Book online at ZerorezColumbia.com.
From lazy days and spontaneous adventures to revving up and reconnecting, you can almost feel the excitement building, the road ahead, and a whole new season of possibilities. It's back to cool time right now at Love Chevy with amazing savings on a lot chock full of brand new Tahoes, Suburbans, and the totally redesigned Chevy Traverse. A bolder exterior design, turbocharged V6, best-in-class cargo area, plenty of space for the team and the tailgate. Speaking of football, every day is game day at Love Chevy, where it's all about the fundamentals, honesty, integrity, and straight talk. No ridiculous add-on stickers like the other guys. And who could forget about Love Chevy's $1,000 low price guarantee? Get back to cool today at South Carolina's #1 volume Chevy dealer, I-26 at Harbison, and at lovechevy.com. Together, let's drive.
That's the power of love. Love Chevy.
Hit us up on the Firehouse Subs text line, 803-404-6100.
Your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia, 107.5 The Game. Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach and 100.5 The Game in Florence. The Halftime Show, sponsored by the Men's Clinic of South Carolina, on your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia, 107.5 The Game.
Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach.
And 100.5 The Game in Florence. And the 107.5 The Game app.
All right, we talked a little bit earlier on this week with Neil McCready from Rebel Grove, getting some insight into the Ole Miss football team. Here's our conversation from earlier on in the week.
I would say the excitement level is very high. I would say the anxiety levels are very high. Just kind of everything, and a lot of nervousness. It's the most hype for an Ole Miss team since 2009 probably, and that team, their season went to die, the first death in Columbia, but this team's different than that. It's Lane Kiffin instead of Houston Nutt. It's an experienced, far more experienced team, older team, mature team, but it's probably similar sort of feelings. I mean, look, Ole Miss probably a lot like South Carolina, right? I mean, Ole Miss typically gets a lot of mileage in August out of disrespect. No one believes in us. Everyone's overlooking us. No one's talking about us. I mean, that stuff. I was just making fun of not really making fun. I was having fun with a competitor podcast that's like Ole Miss ready to shock the world. And I'm like, what? At this point, what's shocking the world? If I mean, going 2-10, beating the Chiefs. I mean, everyone's picking them to make the playoff. So there is none of that. Like you can make that narrative, you can force to feed that narrative down people's throats, but it's not real. Everyone's picking Ole Miss to make the playoff. Some people are picking them to make the SEC title game. Some people have picked them to make the national semifinals. You're getting tons of respect. So it's a new, I guess, paradigm probably for a lot of Ole Miss fans, I'd guess, and some are handling that better than others.
Neil, Chris here. Thanks for taking time to do this. So I'm going to ask you this question that I feel like has to be asked. Half of our listeners will be mad that I asked it. The other half would be furious if I didn't. So I'm just going to ask it anyway. Got to get an update. What's going on with Juice Wells there at Ole Miss? Anything you can tell us?
He was held out of a lot of drills early in camp while I guess he was still sort of healing. As the last couple of weeks unfolded, he was still wearing the no contact jersey, but he was running with the offense. You know, I don't know how much he will play early. Ole Miss, kind of the early portion of their schedule is all non-league and it's pretty friendly. But look, he is, if he's healthy, and he appears to be, he is going to be a really big part of what they try to do offensively.
And talking to Neil McCready from Rebel Grove, looking ahead of the Ole Miss game, which is coming up for South Carolina in early October. You mentioned that easy slate for Ole Miss to open up the season. Furman, Middle Tennessee, at Wake Forest, and then Georgia Southern before they start their SEC play with Kentucky the week before South Carolina. What, if anything, are you still going to be asking questions about when that Kentucky game rolls around in late September that you may not necessarily know playing weaker opponents in those first 4 weeks?
Yeah, sure. I mean, we're going to be asking questions about are you good enough on the offensive line to be an elite team? They were good enough on the offensive line last year to be a good team, but they were not a good enough team offensively on the line to handle Alabama, to handle Georgia. You know, there were a couple other games that got a little iffy at times last season. I mean, you know, they had an 11-2 season, but there were 2 or 3 games that could have easily kind of gone the other way, and they've got to be better up front. We probably won't know that after they play Middle Tennessee and Wake Forest, for example. I mean, nothing against those programs, but you're just not really going to know answers to it. And you probably won't really know whether the loss of Quinshon Judkins, just how much that hurts early in the season. You know, you probably can get away with that against Furman, against, Wake and Middle Tennessee and Georgia Southern. But, you know, when you play a Kentucky, when you play a South Carolina, when you play an LSU, those kind of absences become far more palpable. So those are some of the questions that I think we'll have, and I think they'll be legitimate. You know, I mean, I think four games into the season, this team's going to be 4-0. It's probably going to be ranked somewhere around 5th in the country, and yet I think there will be a legitimate, question out there. Well, just how good is this team? They haven't played anyone yet. They'll settle that because at some point they're going to play a really difficult schedule, and they've got to go play hard SEC games on the road. They've got to play Georgia. They've got to play Oklahoma. They've got to go to LSU. They've got to go to Columbia. They've got to go to Gainesville. They've got to go to Fayetteville, where they haven't won since 2008. So, I mean, if this team's going to be as good as we think it's going to be, it's going to earn it. But we won't know a month in.
Neil, tell us a little bit about the rest of the league. I mean, we've talked about Ole Miss, but I always like getting your perspective on the league. You've covered it for a long time. Give me a team that you think is overrated, and then a team you think might be as underrated that we get to the end of the season, you're like, wow, that team's a lot better than I thought they might be.
Yeah, I think the league's really good.
Yeah,
I really do. And I mean, like the overrated part, the cop-out answer would be like Missouri, but I don't think they're overrated, Chris. I really don't. I think they're legitimately good. Here's the thing is that we're going to do this hot take thing at the end of the year because one of these teams that we think is going to be a playoff team is going to lose 3 games, and we're going to go, see, they sucked. And it's going to be, no, it wasn't that. It was just there's going to be, I think, a lot of games that come down to 1 or 2 possessions and maybe a health situation here and there, a call, anything, right? And I think the margin between making the playoff, not making the playoff is going to be razor thin. I think the margin between being a 9-win team and a 7-win team is razor thin. I'll give you some teams that I think we're sleeping on. I think we're sleeping on Texas A&M. They don't have any of those distractions they had a year ago. If they could somehow beat Notre Dame Saturday, if you look at their schedule, they could get off to a really hot start. That is a talented roster. I think the quarterback, Wegman's good. I think we're sleeping on them. I think there's the temptation to go, well, Arkansas is going to be horrid. I don't think they're going to be just absolutely horrid. They might be a little better than that. They're going to have Bobby Petrino actually getting to call the offense as opposed to at A&M last year where Jimbo did that idiotic thing where he hired Bobby Petrino and then said, you have to run my offense. Dumb. I think Florida's going to be a little better than people think they're going to be. I covered Hugh Freeze for a long time. His second-year teams are usually pretty good. He's got a little more experience at quarterback now with Thorne. Thorne sort of knows what he wants to do. I think there's a bunch of those teams. I just don't think the league has much bad to it. I think Vanderbilt will be bad. I think there's a real chance Mississippi State's bad in Jeff's first year there. But, man, everybody else, again, I've talked about this with Ole Miss's schedule, and it's a long-winded answer, but a lot of Ole Miss people look at the schedule and it goes 3 games. There's LSU, Oklahoma, Georgia. And I get why you do that, but I'm like, man, that Kentucky game has a chance to be scary. I have a lot of respect for what Stoops has done over the last decade or so. That South Carolina game for Ole Miss is sandwiched between Kentucky and LSU. LSU doesn't play that week. If LSU's undefeated, if they beat USC, they're undefeated, and Ole Miss is, let's say, 5-0 when they come to Columbia, there's going to be so much national hype already starting on Ole Miss and LSU, understandably. But then you got to go into Williams-Brice and win, and that's a hard place to win. Later in the season, Ole Miss has a game at Arkansas that's sandwiched between a home game against Oklahoma and a home game against Georgia. I mean, if they're still a playoff contender at that portion of the season, people are going to start hyping that Georgia game. People are going to hype that Oklahoma game. And it's going to be super easy to be sort of asleep when you go into Reynolds Razorback Stadium. And Ole Miss hasn't won there since 2008. It's just a lot there. I mean, I think there's lots of pitfalls on their schedule and probably on everybody's schedule. But I think if you ask me to name an overrated team, I'd probably go Tennessee just because I kind of question the young quarterback and their defense. And underrated, I probably would go Texas A&M. But, man, there's a bunch of candidates.
It's going to be a fun season. Certainly going to be keeping our eyes on Ole Miss, and that game in early October should be a fun, rowdy environment here at Williams-Brice Stadium. Appreciate your time, Neil, and I'm sure I'll be checking with you down the line as well.
All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Again, that's our conversation with Neil McGrady from Rebel Grove, and Ole Miss obviously going to be coming into Columbia in early October for that tough slate of games there in that month during the season. It's halftime show. Coming up next, it is the greatest day in the history of the world. August 28th. Coming up next, right here on The Game.
The Game Network in Columbia.
107.5 The Game.
In Florence.
100.5 The Game.
In Myrtle Beach.
100.3 The Game.
Ever been on this date?
You're a good-looking man.
Thank you.
Very pretty. Real soft, delicate features. They're real feminine.
And thought, man, I'd rather be listening to The Game right now.
Welcome in to the afternoon show. Alongside Elijah Campbell, I'm Jay Phillips.
Well, just go to iTunes or Google Play and download the Game app. Sure, you may no longer be with that person anymore, but you'll never be without the game again.
From lazy days and spontaneous adventures to revving up and reconnecting, you can almost feel the excitement building, the road ahead, and a whole new season of possibilities. It's back to cool time right now at Love Chevy with amazing savings on a lot chock full of brand new Tahoes, Suburbans, and the totally redesigned Chevy Traverse. A bolder exterior design, turbocharged V6, best-in-class cargo area, plenty of space for the team and the tailgate. Speaking of football, every day is game day at Love Chevy, where it's all about the fundamentals, honesty, integrity, and straight talk. No ridiculous add-on stickers like the other guys. And who could forget about Love Chevy's $1,000 low price guarantee? Get back to cool today at South Carolina's #1 volume Chevy dealer, I-26 at Harbison, and at lovechevy.com. Together, let's drive.
That's the power of love. Love Chevy.
This is Larry Leitner, owner and founder of Midstate Roofing, and for nearly 30 years, we've continued to be the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. Midstate Roofing's proven history is your assurance that our professionals at Midstate Roofing will provide the proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility in a manner both safe and pleasing to your operation. From high-rise to hospitals, manufacturing to industrial, Midstate Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with a protective guarantee that will keep your operation dry and running long into the future. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And this is Blake Leitner, reminding you to protect that roof with a maintenance contract. Call me today at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. That's midstateroofing.com.
You'll speak to an on-call technician after hours or a Midstate Roofing staff member during hours at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. And as always, tell them Midstate Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a peek.
Healthy Connections Medicaid members, did you know you need to renew your Medicaid coverage each year? You can complete your annual Medicaid eligibility review or check your status online at apply.scdhhs.gov. Healthy Connections Medicaid members can now create an ID.me account to easily stay up to date and report household changes. Visit apply.scdhhs.gov to learn more. And remember, submit your review when it's time to renew. This message is from Healthy Connections Medicaid and paid for by DPH.
This year, Roy and Dana Finley are shaking things up at AAA Heating and Air. For the next 12 months, they're telling their customers no. Get a new system purchase with no payments and no interest for a whole year. You heard that right. Purchase a brand new system in 2024 and get no payments and no interest until 2025. Do what I did. Call AAA Heating and Air today for your free estimate. 803-677-1500. Tell them Bill Gunner sent you.
AAA Air when you need us. AAA Heating and Air.
Get ready to smile because Herndon Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy dealer, is offering an amazing deal. This month, you could drive home in a brand new Silverado 2500 with financing as low as 5.9% for up to 84 months. Head over to HerndonChevy.com today and drive home in the truck of your dreams. Together, let's drive.
Herndon Chevrolet, Herndon makes you wanna smile.
Call 803-510-5447 for complete details.
Harlan's Closet is the sweet deal of the week. Get a $100 gift certificate for just $50. Visit 1075thegame.com beginning this Friday at 9 a.m. to get your $100 gift certificate to Harlan's Closet for just $50.
Bill Gunner for my great friends Rock and Daniel Lucas at Charwood Golf Club. Hey, the fall, better weather, exciting days are right ahead of us, and getting out to Charwood Golf Club is something my son Austin and I love doing because it's a relaxed, fun environment where you can go out, play music, enjoy an afternoon outdoors, and enjoy the excellent layout that is Charwood Golf Club. Line up your tee time today. 803-755-2000. Again, that's 803-755-2000. Call Charwood Golf Club today.
The Halftime Show, sponsored by the Men's Clinic of South Carolina.
The greatest day in the history of the world on the Halftime Show is sponsored by 1-800-GET-JUNK. We make junk disappear. All you have to do is point.
On your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia, 107.5 The Game.
Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach.
And 100.5 The Game in Florence.
And the 107.5 The Game app.
Greatest day in the history of the world today is August 28th. Terry Ford, Tyler Head, as we look over the greatest day in the history of the world. I always like to look at the first one, because usually it's like early 1900s, 1800s, whatever.
Are you looking on the same website that I use?
I use AP.
Okay, I use AP sometimes.
The first one, August 28th, is 1886. I'll never forget. This was iconic. It's an unbelievable match. Richard Sears beats R. Livingston Beekman 4-6, 6-1, 6-3, 6-4 to win his 6th straight U.S. National Tennis Championship. Richard Sears had game.
I think that was on the SportsCenter Top 10 that night.
Absolutely. Some of the plays Sears made.
Yeah.
That between the legs shot as he's running away from the net.
Sure.
Richard Sears, man, 6 straight U.S. National Tennis Championships. Back in the 1880s, dude was dominant.
I don't know if ballin' was a term back then, but he was doing that.
He was balling. All right, we should just start doing that, make that part of this. Just look at the first one on the list and have some fun with it.
The oldest, greatest day in history.
We got to start doing that.
I'm sure we can get some weird things.
Oh, no doubt. All right, this day in 2021, some dude named Shohei Ohtani becomes the first player in L.A. Angels history to have 20 stolen bases and 40 homers.
That's kind of the mark of Ohtani's time when he was with the Angels, was breaking every conceivable record known to man, but the team's still finding a way to lose. I think the perfect microcosm of that, somebody had a tweet a couple years ago that says, I'll watch SportsCenter, and they'll go, Mike Trout hit a home run today, and Shohei Ohtani has done something that hasn't been done in Major League Baseball since 1936 from insert whatever ridiculously named player here. Angels lost 4-2.
And the best part about it, unless you're an Angels fan, is the fact that despite the fact you had Shohei Ohtani, who is, obviously one of one in what he does, and you had Mike Trout, who has been looked at as one of the best players, if not the best player of this generation. And how many playoff series victories do you have?
None.
How many trips to the playoffs do you have with Mike Trout?
One. Yeah, that's it.
You want to talk about an organization and an ownership group that should be forced to get the hell out of the game of baseball. It should be the Angels.
It's laughable, and I feel so bad. Ron Washington, former Braves third base coach, who's there now trying to piece together. I feel so bad. Like, I get it. He wanted to go back into managing. Obviously had success before he went to the Braves, but it's like, man, that's a death sentence as a manager, it feels like.
Yes, whereas your career goes to die. Ever since Mike Scioscia left. That's the way it's been. Artie Moreno, here's the example of this. It's easy to pick out the bad owners because sometimes the bad owners are very vocal.
Sure.
But the bad owners who just kind of sit in the background and screw everything up and screw the organizations up, like Artie Moreno is not a vocally bad human being at all. But he's a bad owner. Look at what they do there. Look at the moves. Look at the organization. Look at how the infrastructure and how they build or don't build. It's a joke. It's a joke.
For reference, they're behind the A's in the AL West standings. If you don't need any other statistic to tell you where the Angels are at, they're behind the A's.
A team that feels like in the A's is purposely not trying to win.
Well, I mean,
until you get to Vegas.
Yeah, exactly.
You get to Vegas.
They got like a 3-year plan.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all right, we're gonna suck here. We're gonna suck in Sacramento. We'll be okay when we get to Vegas.
Oh yeah. By the time we get to Vegas, we'll be ready to rock and roll because then it matters.
Guess what? Then you're gonna have no fans.
Just are you ready? I don't think the Vegas crew is going to be interesting at the games.
Could you imagine being just an Oakland sports fan in general?
No.
And the amount of teams that have just punched you in the face repeatedly.
How damaged is your psyche?
About how much they just hate being in the Bay Area.
You want to talk about sports fan abuse?
Yeah.
I mean, you think about it. The Golden State Warriors went across the bay to San Francisco, a shiny new arena.
Yep.
Obviously, the Raiders took off to Vegas, and now the A's are going to go to Vegas.
Yeah.
But you've got, what do you left? Nothing.
Yeah.
You've got nothing.
You have a dilapidated stadium.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And look, part of this is you've had some, Golden State doesn't have bad ownership. They went to a shiny, ridiculous palace, right? They just got something Oakland didn't give them. But that ballpark, that Coliseum is so bad.
And it used to be so state of the art. Like, it used to be one of the standard stadiums. And back then everybody was doing multi-purpose with football and baseball. And as time went on, it's like, all right, guys, probably, kind kind of rein this in a little bit. And it's like, no, we're gonna keep doing this thing. And the Dolphins were, I guess, the last one before them to finally, or Marlins, I guess, to abandon the multi-purpose stadium. And obviously Hard Rock's become just for the Dolphins now, but the Raiders and the A's just kept doing it.
It's a city, and look, to be fair, as bad as ownership, like again, Mark Davis with his Lloyd Christmas haircut.
How can you be that rich and have a bad haircut?
But you know what? Here's my thing. I get that rich people, some of them surround themselves with yes men.
Sure.
They say everything you do is good. You're really funny. You're really handsome. You're really everything wonderful. Oh, by the way, can I have the Amex? I get it, right?
Sure,
I understand that. Not one human being in that inner circle for Mark Davis goes, hey, bro, that haircut? Seriously?
Like Derek Carr. Like, hey, what we got? What's going on up here, man? Like,
the deal, dude?
Why not just buzz your hair like me? You know what I mean?
It's so bad.
Because he can't think it looks good. Yeah. He can't look at himself in the mirror every morning as he wipes his face with $100 bills and think, I look good.
I look so hot. His haircut. This haircut right here. This thing. Whew. And again, the baseball ownership with the A's is a billionaire who doesn't care about winning baseball games.
Right.
It's awful what's going on in the Bay Area. Those are passionate sports fans, especially Raider fans.
Oh yeah.
And and part of this too, don't get me wrong, let's not forget that government can't be let off the hook here either.
Sure.
Because the politicians in Oakland have done those fans no favors either.
Well, and
it's just terrible.
Going back to the Coliseum, yeah, there are plenty of cities around the country that, don't need new stadiums, but the teams push for them and they eventually get them. Like, no, Oakland's needed a new stadium for a very, very long time.
This didn't sneak up on you.
No, it did not. It's like if there was ever any city that was justified in building a new, nice stadium, it would have been Oakland.
It's just, I do feel bad for them. I feel bad for them. All right, in 1989, some 18-year-old named Pete Sampras wins his first U.S. Open singles match in 4 sets. 1989. 1977, we had Nolan Ryan the other day. Here's some more Nolan Ryan. Strikes out 300 batters for the 5th straight year in 1977.
He was pretty good.
Uh-huh. And let's see. I got one more in here I wanted to get. No, that was it. Finished up on Nolan Ryan. But that's the greatest day in the history of the world. Every day, we got something. I thought there was another one in here. There was another one. I got to find it really quick. It's going to drive me crazy. Yeah, here it is, 1994. Some guy named Tiger Woods becomes the youngest winner of in U.S. history, or in the history of the U.S. Amateur Championship, capturing the last 3 holes of a 36-hole match. I believe that was a big comeback. That was Tiger stormed back from being behind and won the USGA Amateur Championship in 1994.
Obviously, I was not alive when Tiger was coming to his prominence. Was there a belief across the board that this guy was going to be as advertised? Or it's like, it's a kid, he'll flame out eventually.
You know what? We get so many overhyped teenagers that are going to be this and that. You watched him as an amateur, and he was ridiculous. But again, it was like, okay, we'll see what he does when he gets with the big dogs on the PGA Tour. But as an amateur, he had the goods, man. I forget, did he win 3 straight U.S. Amateur Championships? At least a couple in a row. But it was very, again, I'm not a golf guy.
Yeah.
I was anticipating to see what Tiger Woods would do when he flipped pro. And I'm just a sports fan. I'm not a golf fan in general.
Sure.
So, yeah, it was going to be, okay, let's see what he does. Mm-hmm. Then you had the Williams sisters coming up almost in that same time. So, very interesting. That is the greatest day in the history of the world. We'll get back in here. Check out our Firehouse sub text the hour at 803-404-6100. Might even have another pair of Hootie tickets. Who knows? We'll give it a shot. That's coming up on the halftime show. Terry Ford, Tyler Head on the game.
From the Midlands to the PD to the beach.
The Game Network.
Carolina Calls with head coach Shane Beamer.
Thanks to everyone for coming out. What an awesome crowd on a Thursday night.
This Thursday at 6 p.m. on The Game.
This is Jim Rome with a Sports Minute. It has been a pretty tense offseason in Big D. It's been awkward. It's been stressful for the Cowboys. Nobody seemed happy. However, yesterday was a little bit different. So what happened? They signed CeeDee Lamb. You know, the thing that they had to do. The thing that we knew they would do all along. I'm Jim Rome. All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this. If something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
Guess what, people? Wendy's has new saucy nugs. You heard me. Wendy's nugs now come in 7 saucy flavors. Buffalo, honey barbecue, garlic parm, spicy ghost pepper. You can literally hear your taste buds after every bite. I'm serious. Listen to mine. Okay, that's just me playing with sound effects, but you got the idea. For a whole new way to nug, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's.
Point!
Hey, you okay? You don't normally miss those shots.
Oh, I just haven't been as regular lately, and it's making me feel sluggish.
You should try Metamucil. It's been a game changer for me. Metamucil's plant-based psyllium fiber helps trap and remove the waste that weighs you down.
Ace!
You're moving better than you were last week.
Definitely.
Metamucil keeps you moving. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Learn more at Metamucil.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-213-5757. 800-213-5757.
Paid for by Wesley Financial Group.
Point!
Hey, you okay? You don't normally miss those shots.
Oh, I just haven't been as regular lately, and it's making me feel sluggish.
You should try Metamucil. It's been a game changer for me. Metamucil's plant-based psyllium fiber helps trap and remove the waste that weighs you down.
Ace!
You're moving better than you were last week.
Definitely.
Metamucil keeps you moving. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Learn more at Metamucil.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-213-5757. 800-213-5757.
Paid for by Wesley Financial Group.
The Halftime Show, sponsored by the Men's Clinic of South Carolina.
It's time for Text of the Hour on the Firehouse Subs text line on the Halftime Show.
On your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia, 107.5 The Game.
Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach.
And 100.5 The Game in Florence. And the 107.5 The Game app.
All right, let's get our Firehouse Sub text the hour in with Tyler at 803-446-100. Then we'll give away some Hootie tickets for tomorrow night's gig.
Well, funny enough, we actually have people on the text line that wanted to know the answer to the first Hootie question.
I'm sorry.
Who, asked Hootie to sing his birthday.
It was Frank Sinatra.
That's correct. Frank
Sorry
Sinatra.
we didn't give the answer. I apologize. That's on me. It was Frank Sinatra who asked Darius Rucker to sing at his 80th birthday party, not Dean Martin or Sammy Davis Jr., but I'm sure Jay Phillips knew that answer.
I don't know if I would have known that. I just love it when people call Darius Hootie.
I know. Well, that's like when I'm reading, because I want to dig in and find some kind of cool stuff we could do the giveaway with.
Sure.
And it says in the Wikipedia, it says, fans started calling Darius Rucker Hootie. Yeah. Like that was his name on his driver's license.
Well, again, I'm the old dude who, first remembers, I don't remember which fraternity was throwing said party, But the first time I saw Hootie and the Blowfish was at a fraternity party in front of maybe, a combined 100 people, and they were just mingling.
Yeah.
So.
Wow, you are old.
I am. You know what? All 4 of those dudes, a little bit older than me.
There you go.
Only a little.
It's teeny.
Only a little.
All right, real quick, let's get our how well do you know Hootie question out here. Again, multiple choice. First one to get the right answer wins a couple tickets to go see Hootie and the Blowfish. That would be tomorrow night's gig. 803-404-6100. Here is the question. Darius Rucker did a voice cameo on what sitcom? The Simpsons, Seinfeld, or Friends?
Oh, I thought it was the Brady Bunch.
Simpsons, Seinfeld, he's not that old, or Friends.
Sorry, Darius.
Which sitcom did Darius Rucker do a voice cameo on? What? It was right around the time he sang for Frank Sinatra for the birthday party. So again, which sitcom? Was it Simpsons, Seinfeld, or Friends? First one with the right answer. You think you got this one?
I do. I think I do.
Okay. Well,
but I better not say
I tell you, this one's lighting up quickly.
Again, I thought it was the Brady Bunch.
You know what's funny?
Clearly
the
wrong.
first question, Tyler and I look up and like there typically, we blow up phones here for contests.
Yeah.
Looked up and there was nothing for a couple minutes, and then all of a sudden the phone blows. Like everybody's looking it up, right? Everybody's looking it up. So this one might be easier. So first correct answer is the winner, obviously. All right, man. We are Wednesday. A few days out still. I guess the question Tyler and I were talking about earlier in the show, because, this is what matters in the world now.
Uh-huh.
Do the Gamecocks cover the 21?
You want me to give you a little inside baseball?
Sure.
At least for my own perspective, I went ahead this morning and sent Jack Veltri our staff.
Have you already
picks.
done it?
Yeah.
You've done your staff pick, all right? I still haven't done mine.
Well, he gave us till Friday morning, but I was like, oh, I'm ready. I went ahead and did it. I did not pick them to cover the spread. But it's very close. I think I picked...
That's what Wikipedia says.
I picked 34-16.
34-16?
And I, as you know, I hate
I know you
predictions.
I know
hate
you
them.
do.
Hate them.
I know you do.
But since I'm forced to do this, but I just figured that, look, ODU's pretty good, and I think Carolina, I'm not going to say Carolina's going to struggle, and I do think South Carolina will win, but there's just so much new. I'm not, to expect South Carolina to go out, remember, I think it might have even been last year. I can't remember. Maybe it was a North Carolina game a couple of years ago. It's like, oh, well, Carolina's going to beat North Carolina by, 25 points. I was like, man, you got to get to 25 to beat them by 25.
Right.
So I just don't know, and I think the over/under is 52. So I came close to that. I guess that's a 50. So again, I don't think they'll struggle, but again, to expect them to go out, if they do, great. I mean, go team, right? But to expect them to go out and just suddenly have this amazing offensive output against a team that is used to playing big schools. And being in tight games, just I think is a little unrealistic.
The thing, I think because you have so much new on offense, and you can't expect to just go out there and just roll, right?
I mean, again, like I said, if you do, you do.
That's great, but to me also, and I haven't made the pick yet. Old Dominion is 4-2 as a dog against Power 4 teams
under Ricky Rain.
Under Ricky Rain. So,
by the way, doesn't that sound like a pro wrestler name of like?
Yeah,
he would be like Tyler. What would he be? Like the Intercontinental Champ?
Yeah, some kind of.
You know what he would be?
He wouldn't make it all the way to World Champ, but he would be like the Intercontinental Champ.
His finisher would be like the Rain Machine or something like that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Make it rain.
You know what too? I can picture him with a man bun.
It's just when I heard his name, I was like, that is a pro wrestler name, man.
Oh, yeah.
His theme song is Thunderstruck.
Yeah.
There you go.
Perfect. Look at this.
Love it.
Tyler, you don't like wrestling, do you?
A little bit.
So, I don't know where I'm going to go. I think that South Carolina, obviously, I think they win. I could see them winning that game. Let's go with a number. I'm just going to make up a number like a 30 to 17ish, 33 to 17ish kind of win, where you win by a couple of scores. Again, things are a little rusty, and you work the kinks out as you go along and things of that nature. By the way, according to 3 different websites It's Friends.
Well, like 20 people guessed The Simpsons before we got a right answer, so I was worried for a
Friends,
second there.
yeah, a voice cameo on the TV sitcom Friends. Tyler, fine job like always.
Yeah.
Always good yipping with you, my
we got
friend.
Jordan K. from the state and Dave Neal, SEC Network, coming up.
Look at you, like a real show.
Well, Elijah did all that.
You and Elijah post-game show. That's coming next. Tyler, nice work. We'll do it again tomorrow, halftime show here on The Game.
1075 The Game. Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios.
Take up to $20K off new Silverados.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. Together, let's drive.
803-875-MENS is the Men's Clinic of South Carolina. Look, we talk about this all the time. If you got these things that are going on, whether it's, you're not sleeping really good like you used to, you got brain fog going on, you can't remember anything, you don't have the life drive, the sex drive, the professional drive, the personal drive, you're just driveless. You have no steering wheel. I don't know. Maybe your workouts stink. You can't lift like you used to. You can't recover. It could be just low testosterone. Here's what you do. Call 803-875-MENS, Men's Clinic of South Carolina. Set up your free confidential consultation. Let's say the staff thinks it's low T. They do lab work. It comes back low testosterone. You know what they do? They put you on a